What I was giving a secret is when dudes use the bathroom and you're in a stall and you hear someone else come in, you make one of those noises.
Oh, the
Yeah.
because it's not worth
Steve's
watching.
wife's in the kitchen, Tiffany's over in the kitchen, and then we're watching it, we're commentating, and she's like, "What the f is going on in there?" I was like, "Oh, it just jumped through the wall, coming through the ceiling, or some shit like that."
So this guy's
She's like, "What
phallus
the fuck?"
basically turns into a monster and falls off his body.
Florence
she's
Pugh, and I was just like,
"Nah." Anybody else?
get out of here, you commie.
Right. But if that was Ryan Reynolds, he'd be like, "Oh, keep going."
Well, some dude was just yelling about how she had too much helium. Flown away. And I was like, God damn it, I'm trying to watch this movie. That's a
Yeah.
price point.
Obviously, she's not gonna be like, "I'll throw my in it for free." Like, it's gonna be a, that movie that came out 6 years ago. My wife was in it.
Yeah.
One
Just
frame.
one frame.
Shlomo at this exact time.
Always liked Matt Damon.
I think
Matt
he
Damon
makes
and
live.
RDJ.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I was waiting for
Yeah, you got
that.
it.
I almost did it the first time he said it, and I
Yeah.
looked at you because I thought you were going to do it, and I was like, all right, I'm going to let it go.
Yeah,
Gotta
no.
do it every
You have
time.
to do it. You can't help it. Matt Damon.
Hey, welcome to the Decision Reel Movie Review Podcast, where we review movies of today and yesterday. This week, we're reviewing
Yeah.
a movie of today. It's been a while since we've done that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, the reason for it, we got a special guest on. We got Brenna from, I guess, the Baynet, we could say.
Yes, I do work for the Baynet. Not all of my opinions are necessarily reflective of the Baynet's opinions. I will
like that.
preface that. But I am a journalist and reporter for them.
Disclaimer,
Yeah.
off the bat, I like it. So anything she says here,
Don't hold it against the Baynet. Hold it against me.
Yeah.
I'm going to call the Baynet.
That's how you can tell she's got the experience. She put the disclaimer in there first.
Yeah, if Steve says anything fucking weird, I tell his parents. That's usually
And then
what
I get
do.
a phone call,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I'm sorry.
He
Wally.
said, what? About what?
Wally told me when we were having dinner the other night, you have dinner with Wally? No, sorry. This week, though, we are looking at a movie that I'm actually excited to look at, Oppenheimer,
Why are you excited?
because I love Christopher Nolan, number one. Number two, this is a different type of movie for us. We don't normally step into, like, serious movies
This
here.
is a
We
different
normally
type of
do...
movie for everybody.
Okay. Okay. You're right. But for us here, we're normally what? Like horror, comedy, stupid shit. This is
Sure, it's everything. We do
completely
everything
the
here.
opposite, though. This
You
is
said horror, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said horror,
Horror.
Just
but it's
making
like
sure.
there's
Not
there's
horror.
4 R's.
That's a
making
whole
sure.
together.
different.
We've talked about that on the show, too. So I'm just,
Well, to be fair, there is a subset of movies that
yeah,
could be
so I'm just,
horror.
making sure.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I was on the same page.
All 4 of us, same page. Horror. I got it. The plot of Oppenheimer. The story of an American scientist, J. Robert Oppenheimer, and his role in the development of the atomic bomb, which is based on the 2005 biography American Prometheus by Kay Bird and Martin J. Sherwin.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
There was no mess up in that reading right there. That was
So remember,
beautiful.
we talked about this.
Usually it's like, yeah, man.
We talked about this. It was because I couldn't read
He's got the bigger
the
screen.
the,
now.
the small
yeah,
screen
yeah.
notes. My eyeballs they don't work for small text, large text.
So it's pulled from a book. Now the book, was it like completely legitimate?
I'm assuming it was a biography, not an autobiography or a, what's the other biography? Would you know? Where it's like made up, but it's not.
Can you call that a biography?
I don't think so. I think that's just.
I just made it up.
There we go. He invented something new. I think it's just good old fashioned fiction.
I think that's, yeah. I think we
Is
just
that
call
not
that. I think we
Is
just call
that, is that what
fiction.
they call it, fiction?
Yeah,
Steve's
we just
like,
call it fiction.
Oppenheimer in space.
It's in a faraway land.
Is that
Yeah.
that when they pull the
Oppenheimer
loosely
2.
based?
Yeah,
Electric
story? Is
Boogaloo.
that when they pull that
I mean,
out?
I would watch that.
No, his whole life was so documented. It's kind of hard to deviate.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. Yeah, how would you, if you did anything that was not right, someone's gonna be like, well, guess what?
Yeah, it
Wrong.
might be. There might be some sold history down the road from America somewhere, but besides that, it's pretty well documented exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Whole period in time.
I think also with movies like this, there is a certain amount of creative that goes into it just to keep, because turning a book into a movie can be difficult.
Sure.
So you have to make some creative choices where maybe it didn't happen exactly like that, but close enough.
Like the dramatic liberties.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Creative
because there are
liberties.
some points like in movies where you're like, well, if we did this, it would be boring as shit to watch. So let's spice it up a little bit and put what she said
Speaking
earlier,
of-
the horror movies. Sorry, yeah, what?
What's her name? The little blonde. I forget.
In this movie,
Yeah.
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh. Yeah.
Pugh.
That was some of the spicy stuff.
You're right. So they were like,
Guaranteed.
hey, guess what? So you're going to be having sex, but you're not going to be able to get going. So we're going to read you some fucked up shit. Well, and you're good.
I was
Yeah.
like, whoa. Take a step back. I was in the movie theater.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was me and Sarah, and then just probably the demographic was people 20 years older than me and above.
Yeah.
And I looked over, and some guy was like,
Are we all uncomfortable right now?
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, when I went and saw it, I talked about this on an earlier episode. I went to the IMAX in Alexandria, the Hoffman. If you've never been there, great place.
Oh, how's that sound?
It was immaculate.
Yeah, that's
I
ridiculous.
fucked up, though.
What'd you do?
I waited a little long to buy tickets, and I can only get the back row.
You didn't get the
At
subwoofer
that point,
vibrating?
well, no, at that point, the IMAX is not the IMAX anymore. It's just a regular movie theater because you're so far away that
You're not getting the full.
exactly you're not getting the IMAX screen.
We got the butt rumble seats over at the RC Theater.
which
You know
is
what I'm
tight.
talking
Yeah,
about?
the butt kickers. Yeah,
Is that what they're called? Butt
Well,
kickers?
so that's what what it's called that goes on to the actual seat, but they call it something different there. It's like the XD or something.
I don't know, but it was a lot,
Yeah.
and it was dope.
Well, I don't think they have. I saw it in Calvert County because that's where I'm from.
Mm.
And in that theater, I don't believe they have any of that. I
No.
do think they might show.
Did you go to the one?
Just some dude.
It's in
Uh,
Prince
real.
Frederick.
Right. Okay. So the one where the
Pretty cool.
sign is right there on the.
Yeah, there's a marquee right
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Route
yeah.
4.
That's the small
and
theater.
The sound was so intense though, it literally shook the seats. So
Awesome.
it
Yep.
felt
Yep.
very like you were watching it. You were
Yep.
watching it. The
I mean,
ball go off.
If I didn't get that experience from this movie, I would have been a little let down. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like if you're going into a movie about the atomic bomb, something better be shaking.
Quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is a quiet part in this that you're not expecting, which
It's great.
was amazing.
There's
I-
a lot of artistic liberties in this. There's glorious.
I do like how uncomfortable it made some people though, because you could
This
hear
quiet
them.
part.
Because it was like going on for what, at least 30 seconds. Felt like 2 minutes.
Mhm.
But some people in my theater were like,
That thing dudes do in the bathroom. when
or
another
or
one walks
have
in.
you seen? There was a TikTok or like a meme already made about this, where it's like the person getting ready to fart at that point in the movie is just like, well,
They're
here
like,
it goes.
"Oh,
Yeah,
no."
it's gonna be a huge explosion.
I love the ones where kids are in school and they're like, he's like, I gotta cover a fart. And he pretends to cough. He's like,
yeah.
no. What I was giving a secret is when dudes use the bathroom and you're in a stall and you hear someone else come in, you make one of those noises.
Oh, the
Yeah. Just so you don't have to
Right.
have any like mix up. Someone come blasting through the door, right?
occupado.
I'm in here.
Right.
I just whistle. Usually, what I do.
You know,
You
locks,
whistle
you know,
in
locks.
the
Like a
bathroom.
theme.
That could be taken a few different
Yeah.
ways.
What's
but-
the?
Well, it's not
yeah,
It's not kind of whistle. I'm not like mimicking
I don't know
birds.
your life.
right. That could be
Just knock
a
3
mating
times.
call. What? Give some birds do some whistling.
Yeah.
Let me hear the whistle.
I just sign language, but it's underneath to the other stall.
Hey, got any
Also,
candy?
could be taken the wrong way, but
Hey, look. Pick your own adventure at that
If this,
point.
wasn't
Yeah.
if this wasn't also a podcast, I'd explain better, but you can't really explain a podcast through sign language. But yeah, you know.
Well, we are on
If they
YouTube.
watch the YouTube.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like bending down to show stuff.
Even here, yeah.
whatever,
What are you
whatever.
doing? What are you doing down there? We can't see this. You're right.
You good, dude?
Am I good?
No. That's
Oh,
the dude's
that guy.
asking
Oh,
me
yeah.
the other stuff.
You good? I don't know. What do you got?
What
Candy?
do you got?
Where to watch Oppenheimer? Currently, still in theaters. The only other movie we have done, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, I think, was Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah, because we did the last one and then we kind of trickled in
Retrospective.
stuff about
Right,
the past.
Because that
ones.
movie was so bad we couldn't talk about it.
We had to talk about the old ones.
Any
I still haven't
thoughts
seen it.
on Jurassic World Dominion? The latest one?
I opted not to
Good.
see it.
Good
fair.
idea.
It's not. I mean, it.
Well, I'll watch stuff like that when it's streaming and like maybe somebody else wants to watch too. But the original Jurassic Parks are amazing, and I feel like sometimes when you try to recreate that magic, it just
Fall
doesn't
short
live
as
up.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yes, Bryce Dallas.
I think
Chris
they're both
Pratt.
amazing.
Yeah.
But it just got a little weird and got too attached to the raptor, which is the scariest dinosaur of all.
Yeah. So let's make him.
Don't
a pet.
argue with me about
Right,
And
that.
let's
yeah,
make
Have
him
this-
like the smartest
Blue, I
thing,
think,
Right.
predator.
Yeah, blue.
ever.
Yeah.
They are the scariest dinosaurs.
I
ever
thought
to
the
me.
first.
Because the first one, that's why they're the scariest.
It's the tail.
Yeah.
You can see. Oh.
Don't go into the.
Yeah, I didn't mind the first new one, like the first
Clever girl.
Jurassic World.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was okay.
That
but
one was fine. The
it's
second one got a little in a weird place, and then the last one was just a mess. It was just a lot.
Yeah, I'll probably watch that today. I'll probably find it today.
It's now
Dominion?
you
Yeah.
it's where you don't have to pay
It's
for
out.
it
It's
on
long. It's been out for
Amazon
a
or
while. It's like
Yeah.
HBO or something.
Max or something like that. Yeah.
Wally, you know me. I'll sit here and watch it with you.
I'm down.
Because what are we doing?
No, I'm not doing nothing. This is
then
bro
we'll,
day.
And then we'll watch another MXC episode. All right, let's talk real quick. Who's ever watched Most Extreme Elimination Challenge?
I think I have.
So back in the
actually.
day, it would've
Really?
been-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd
Yes.
be shocked at what I
That's
watched.
awesome because you'd be hard to talk any person about this show. They'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
if no one knows, there's.
It's Wipeout.
Hold on.
I've seen Wipeout.
Okay,
But
so go back 10 years before
20
this.
some odd years. 30
So
some
back
odd years.
when, like, I don't know, did you ever get the G4 channel? It was like the Tech TV channel, and then it changed to G4, and it had like X-Play, it had Attack of the Show. You probably weren't watching any of that. Maybe
But we had the channel.
Sure. So they had a show on. It was called MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. And what it did the same thing that Power Rangers did in the early 90s. It took a Japanese show that was made a while ago, dubbed over it, and made it new. But this time, they made it even more ridiculous than the show, which was already ridiculous, was. So the show is, think of Wipeout, but
it's Wipeout, right? But it's like 30 years ago, and it's a bunch of Japanese.
and they like had
People.
probably like a $20 budget for anything they made, right?
Yeah.
So they were putting stuff together with like duct tape and
So
plywood.
these people are eating shit.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah,
not
that's all
Wipeout
it
where it's
was.
controlled. These people are just like they're probably breaking sternums and shit.
This
Right.
is like
But
Wipeout.
It's overdubbed by what feels like witty 15-year-old boys.
Yes.
It's like
So
very
they're-
smart, witty
So it's the
15-year-old
old
boys.
it's the old footage,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's
It's they put new
Random
graphics
dudes
on top
talking
of it,
about
yeah,
it.
and then they put, yeah, pretty much. It seems like two guys that were like, "Yo, I got this
100%
great idea,"
just two dudes.
just getting ripped and
like
making some fun
like a
shit.
Steve and Wally
And
somewhere in their
oh, dude,
basement.
yeah.
And they were like,
So Wedding Crashers, you know how he calls them Baba Ganoush a lot
Yeah.
in that. That's where that comes from. Is Most Extreme.
I believe it
Elimination
also
Challenge.
came from a food. It's a
Well,
food.
so food. Okay, yeah, Baba
An
Ganoush is
actual
that,
food.
but it was brought
the
into
food
prominence.
came from
yeah, it came
the
from
show.
Wedding
Yeah,
Crashers.
of See, it did a whole circle there.
Yeah.
No, anyways, so last week I found on Amazon that they did I guess, a 30th anniversary show of this, but in Japan. So they're now remaking the original. It's called Takeshi's Castle, but now. So we started watching it. And I was like, yeah, we'll give it 5 minutes. I think we watched like an hour of it.
Yeah, we were in.
But again, it's
Too deep.
all over. It's not dubbed. This is the original show now, so it's all in Japanese. But it's hilarious.
Anyone listening, if you've never heard this, watch this. Just watch it.
It's funny.
And you will be
Yeah.
crying.
So
you can't stop.
Yeah.
MXC
Stop
is
watching.
free on Tubi, I believe. So all of it's on there. It's
If you like any kind of slapsticky kind
oh,
of
dude,
stuff,
It's great.
or if you watch,
If
it
you want
doesn't, it
to,
doesn't have to be horribly violent. It's just a little violent, and it's fucking hilarious.
if you watch Wipeout and went, man, I would love to see people just getting wrecked because yeah, they get a little wrecked, but it's like all in fun and everything's safe. If you want to see it with the wheels off, let's say, where it's like, hey, just this guy could die.
this looks like your uncle's backyard.
yeah.
It's pretty much what it is. And a dude tied something to a tree, and they're
Exactly.
swinging and they're slapping poles that don't give it all. It's great. Anyways, Oppenheimer.
Yeah, where was I going with that?
I have no idea.
It all ties
You were
back
just
in.
excited. You were just
I was
excited.
no. It was just because you guys talked about sitting around.
Oh,
again
so that's what we did
after.
last week is we
Yeah.
watched that and then we watched an old episode of MXC too. So yeah, we'll probably get to that.
After these shows, we watch something obscene,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
The week
Stupidness.
before that, it was Evil Dead,
Yeah, the new Evil
The
Dead.
newest-
yeah. Evil
yeah,
Dead Rise.
the
yeah.
most current, which was fucking wild.
Last week when I went to you guys,
Infinite amounts of gore.
when I left you guys, you were watching Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Great. That comedy.
Which,
was
by the
great.
way, I've now watched every day since I left here.
It's great,
last
isn't
week.
it not?
And then-
But you're watching the original, right?
No.
Not- oh, you're watching the new version.
Yes.
Is,
With Aisha Tyler.
Yes,
It's
I've
not
been
bad.
watching the newer ones. I laugh out loud every episode,
It's
at
just-
least
That's all that
once.
matters,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I love the when he is his arms.
Oh yeah.
And when
Classic.
Colin plays
Oh
Ryan's
yeah,
arms.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because they
When he's
do
behind
that
him.
in like every other. They do it in so many of the episodes. But one of the skits I loved in the first season of the new ones is when they did the camera above them and they had to lay on their sides.
Yep.
They
Was that
took
with-
it, but they like removed it after the first season. They don't do it anymore.
Huh.
It
I
was like my
wonder-
favorite skit because they never did it in the old one,
No,
and it's so funny to watch them like try to
They're probably
look like
old
they're
and
walking
rolling
while they're on the
around.
side of
Yeah.
themselves, or like flying through the air pretending to be ghosts and stuff from like just scooting around on the ground.
interesting.
And then they stop. Tiffany and I were just talking about this on Saturday. Yeah.
Oh.
And before that one, Steve made me watch a horror movie about a penis. We discussed it
Oh,
multiple
the
times.
one where it detaches from his body.
yeah,
and
yeah,
just runs
yeah.
around. Yeah.
I've already.
Hello,
is
my baby.
called?
Hello, my
Yeah,
darling.
that is
Hello, my.
horror.
That's all
What's
I
it called?
picture. Bio.
Why am I the one blanking on it?
No, it's
something biology.
something biology. Yeah.
Bad
biology.
biology. Don't watch it, but watch it.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Don't,
good.
but do.
It's one of those things. I said that, and it just kept coming back up, and it's my problem. I brought it up this time.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's
all
my
right, fine,
turn now.
let's watch it. And we skimmed it because it's
funny
not worth
Steve's
watching.
wife's in the kitchen. Tiffany's over in the kitchen. And then we're watching it, we're commentating, and she's like, "What the fuck is going on in there?" I was like, "Oh, it just jumped through the wall, it's coming through the ceiling, or some shit like that."
So this guy's
She's like, "What
phallus
the fuck?"
basically turns into a monster and falls off his body,
God.
and then turns into its own like horror movie monster that's attacking women, but not attacking them,
I feel like this is
attacking
our, like,
them sexually.
You know, like podcasts, they
That
always
is
have,
attacking women.
you know, like
You're right. You're right.
Assault.
You're right.
Joe Rogan
It's
has like
assault is the
DMT.
That is still
Right.
Like,
We
attacking.
come back to the dick that
Yeah,
falls
yeah.
off a guy and
yeah,
attacks women.
we come back to this movie every time. Every time.
I mean, a man made a movie, and people are still talking about it.
Bottom of the barrel, and today we're talking about top of the barrel,
Look,
the better movies.
What a good segue to get us back
Yeah,
on
yeah,
track.
I
This is
got
written
this.
and directed by, I think, one of the best directors in the game right now, Christopher Nolan.
Beautiful.
Tell me a movie that he's done that you went, nah, not for me. It's Tenet. That's the only one. Exactly.
You know me, I'm not good with directors. I know what some the ones he does.
No, I'm a
I don't
fan
feel
of,
like feeling that. I don't remember feeling that bad about that movie.
I remember watching it going, what the fuck is going on? Then we're like, oh, I know, I figured. No, I did not figure it. What the fuck is going on?
I do remember at the end feeling like unfulfilled.
Yeah,
Like I wanted,
What she said.
a little more.
yeah,
But-
more answers. I wanted like more.
Well, I think the great thing about Christopher Nolan is that when you're watching one of his movies, if you do follow directors, writers, you know almost instantaneously this is a Christopher Nolan movie. His style is
I'll give you that
dark,
for sure.
unique. I like his style.
I do too. One of my favorite movies he does. This is going to keep coming up. The Prestige.
Yeah,
I didn't think
we've
these,
talked about it on like 8 episodes.
Yeah,
now.
I didn't think those two movies correlated, Oppenheimer and Prestige, until I started watching it back, Oppenheimer again. You look at the movie differently after the ending of Oppenheimer. Spoilers. Fuck it. You're here. Spoilers. When Robert Downey Jr.'s character finds out what
Strauss.
what Einstein and Oppenheimer talked about, that completely changes the entirety of the movie.
Not about you.
Right. And then once you figure
movie's
out
genius.
right, once you figure out why he's like that, right? If you watch it again from the beginning, all those scenes are different. So at the end, when Oppenheimer and Einstein are talking, it's raining, right? In the beginning of the movie, when Strauss is walking to them, it's not raining. When Einstein walks by him, it's not raining. So he's telling it from his point of view, right? And then later in the movie, Oppenheimer's telling it from his point of view.
I don't remember it raining.
It is raining
Even
at
the
the
first
end.
time they talked, or either of the times. I don't.
So
remember
at the end, so remember
honestly
when
a
he's
minute detail because it's so far apart, but it's
well, no,
cool
so
as shit.
so when he's talking about how look, we just destroyed the world and they're showing all the missiles go off, it's showing water droplets hit the pond in front of them like the missiles that could be hitting Earth.
Well, like barely raining. Is that what you mean?
Well, I mean,
Drizzle.
rain. Sure.
Because
Misting.
like I just didn't remember it
ocean
raining,
mist.
so maybe that's why. Because it was like
Rain is rain, I guess. I mean,
Light
to me.
rain.
Okay, I like
win is a
drizzle.
win.
Yeah.
A light
take it for
drizzle,
what it is.
if you will. What I'm saying is, if you watch The Prestige the first time, and then you get to the end, and then you go back and watch it again, the whole movie is completely different. Have you seen The Prestige?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't want to spoil it for you if you haven't.
Nope.
Because that's...
But it's true because you
Yeah.
notice different things. Like you look at it differently. You watch everything
100%.
differently.
Literally every conversation is completely different. You look at the wife and Borden in that movie. Every conversation. Well, I don't love you today. Well, yeah, because it's a different fucking
you.
guy.
And I feel like it's like that even with like movies like The Sixth Sense and stuff, where there's something that happens big at the end.
Yep.
If you go back and watch those movies, you're like, how am I not like?
Because
How
it's
did you
not
not catch it?
It's
And it's
not in your
because
face,
it's not
yeah.
it's not something you would have thought about until it was, and then you're
And
like,
and that's the genius of these type of movies is they repeat, or you need a repeat viewing to fully get, I think, everything that's there.
You ever do that with Hereditary?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fucking wild.
that movie's still
If a
just-
horror movie does it, it's something completely different.
I've only
You're
had
like, oh fuck.
in the last, I'd say 15 years of watching horror movies, I've only had one like moment, and that's Hereditary, when she's banging her head on the attic door upside down.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why that got me, but that just thinking about it freaks me out.
Yeah, I was in the movie theater with a rack load of people, and I was watching that. You know, the end of the movie where she's floating away, like into the whatever the treehouse. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
She's floating away the treehouse.
So
Have you seen
And that lady,
Hereditary?
yeah, there's no way she has.
Some dude was
She's
like,
not-
I'm just saying.
okay, you're
before
right.
we're
You're
like,
right. We need to like get in. Sorry.
it's
well,
not
some dude was just yelling about how she had too much helium, floating away, and I was like, God damn it, I'm trying to watch this movie.
That dude was scared, so he needed
Yeah,
to
probably.
He had to soften the blow
Exactly.
a little bit.
Probably. I don't know.
Speaking of blow,
That's
Cocaine
what she
or
said.
movie? Up. The movie Up?
Oh, she's trying to make a. She's.
I
Trying to
get
do
it. I'm trying to get her off of it.
speaking of bombs,
Oh, the bombs.
though.
bums.
Bums
Okay.
in seats. I don't know. Oppenheimer is rated R for some sexuality,
It's okay too.
nudity, and language. There's some sexuality in this, I guess.
There's boobs. We just talked about
Multiple.
This. Yeah, multiple boobs.
Enough that the only CGI that's in this movie is in a different release that went to another country, a couple countries, where they had to
Oh, cover it up?
digitally put like a fucking cloth over her while she's sitting in the seat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because the boobies.
And then I guess they just cut the sex scene out. Or maybe they cropped it a little bit different or something.
Dude, I love Florence Pugh. I like watching her Instagram cooking.
They don't like
stuff.
women being sex positive over there.
It's so stupid.
I'm gonna say something.
Say it.
I think Florence Pugh is a little overrated.
I love.
Ooh.
I was disappointed. She was the one person I was kind of disappointed with.
So like her
Oh,
acting in the
acting-wise?
movie.
In general, I think she's done some good work,
Okay.
but overall, I think in this movie particularly, I was just underwhelmed.
I feel like I thought she was going to be in it more.
I think that was it too. It was
I
like
thought
For
she
me.
overacted most of the stuff.
yeah. Damn it, now you're making me think about it.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. That's what we do here. But you're right. Like I even had the same thought you did. Like, oh, Florence is in this. Cool. And then, oh, that's it.
Well, she was so like present on like the press junkets and stuff. Like she was in so
probably
many, and
'cause
she's
she's
in it. If you add up
big
all her
now.
time, she's probably only in it for like
3 minutes.
yeah. I mean, she's not really in it. She was an important
Part.
piece,
Yeah.
but she as an actress, like I didn't understand why she's been so present in all of the
How much? I wonder how
Interviews
much she got
and
paid
stuff.
for this. She probably got paid a ridiculous
Look,
amount
there's
of
a
money.
hold on. There's a lot of people in this movie, and at this point, it's Christopher Nolan, right? So some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are just doing it to be in a Christopher Nolan movie. Like, hey, yeah, me, no pay. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but the
Or
scenes like
SAG,
that
whatever.
sell. Like that's a
Yeah.
price point.
Obviously, she's not gonna be like, I'll throw my titties in it for free. Like, you know, it's gonna be a. What do you want me to do? Yeah, here's my
That's what I'm saying.
sign on the
that-
dotted line.
Well, I don't think she has a problem with nudity either.
Definitely
That
not.
was full. That was full on. I was uncomfortable. I rather get
man.
uncomfortable with that kind of stuff. I get uncomfortable with certain things, but even that part, I was like, oh,
Well, because it was so out of left. Like they're having a conversation. All of a sudden, boom, she's just riding the shit out of him.
yeah. I actually was like, I need to go use the bathroom.
Sorry.
And then use sign language to
Yeah,
somebody
right.
underneath the
Are you?
stall.
Hey guy,
Are you watching?
Are you
Oppenheimer
also
too?
uncomfortable?
Were you put off by that?
Are you also uncomfortable with this?
Did
Is
you
that
zip
why you're
out
here?
for that titties?
Are you a safe thing?
He's like,
hold my
what?
hand. We got to get through
No,
this.
We're
he-
holding each other's
Right.
If you said that, the guy next to you would probably be like, "No,
We're just-
what the fuck?"
our feet are just
He's like,
swinging.
He'd be like, "What movie?"
We're holding each other's hands. Our feet are
God
just like,
damn it. do.
You'd say that to a guy, and he'd be like, "Well, now I'm gonna see that
text
movie."
Sarah. This is
He'd be like,
just
"You're
text me
weird."
when the scene's over.
Tell me when the awkwardness is over. I'm holding
Found
hands
nobody.
with Joe over here.
We're like,
Sarah
we're like,
texts
we're
you.
like,
right.
Sarah texts you back and she's like, "You pansy, get back here."
You guys walk back into the theater together, just holding hands. All right, see you after. Text
Good
me
Blow
luck,
each
buddy.
other. Little kisses.
Right. We'll make plans to shit next to each other.
Next time.
Right.
Let me know the next
Anyways,
time you're at
Call
the
me when you're back in stall 3. I don't know. Oppenheimer is starring Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer, Robert Downey Jr. as Louis Strauss, Emily Blunt as Kitty, Matt Damon as Leslie Groves, I'll fuck this name up, David Krumholtz as Isidore. He is Bernard from the Santa Claus with a little bit more poundage on. If anybody noticed. Fuck,
I did.
Poundage?
Dude was fat.
I know what you're
Yeah,
saying,
He
but
was, he was
I haven't heard it used like that yet.
Hefty.
swolled up. Thank you, hefty.
Hefty.
It's a good one.
Portly.
Because if you try to say getting your poundage on, it's something completely different than what you just said.
In context, yes.
I'm just saying.
Getting your poundage
I don't
on.
think anyone thought that's what
T-shirt.
she was saying.
Ooh, getting your
T-shirt.
poundage on.
T-shirt. Sorry.
Speaking of t-shirts, you can get your t-shirts at www.decisionreel.com.
That's how you do that, Tara, by the way.
Is it?
Use code REEL10, REE10 for 10% off. Sorry, I mean, we have to. I already lost it. What was it?
The poundage.
Just the poundage. That's not what we said.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's
I'll
not
listen
in
back.
context.
It's fine. Josh Hartnett is Ernest Lawrence. Josh Zuckerman is Rossi, who I have not seen since Sex Drive, and he just pops up in this movie. The main character of... Sorry.
It's okay.
I love that movie. Florence Pugh is Jean. This is also starring all these other people. Matthew Modine, Dane DeHaan, Josh Peck, Jack Quaid, Rami Malek, Casey Affleck, and Gary Oldman.
I know, right? What the
Just
fuck?
randomly like, what's up? I'm Gary Oldman. Just playing another dude that you wouldn't recognize.
It's just a laundry list of people, dude.
Yeah.
Like a scroll.
Right.
Honestly, even Rami Malek and
Random.
Casey Affleck, when they came on
Random.
the screen, I was like, oh, look, there
I've
they are.
never thought of Casey Affleck as being like, I want to be scared of this guy. I was fucking scared of that guy in this movie. Think about it. The way he's just like grilling him and like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is what I do, or, you know,
And so calmly.
yeah.
Also,
I think that's scarier.
Matt Damon
That's what I'm
did-
saying.
Matt
Threats are
Damon did a great
scarier.
job.
Threats are scarier when you're just so calm about it because you're like, oh, this motherfucker will do it.
Right.
They're crazy.
Like, if you oversell your threat, you're like, okay.
Yeah, sure.
But if you come in and you're like, I've killed 52 people.
right.
You're like-
Today.
Yeah, you have. They have. They have done it. I can see it in their face.
Matt Damon, though, I was delighted to see. I think he did an amazing job.
Amazing.
Yeah, he didn't. It was just exactly what it needed. It's
Ex-
thorough,
Perfect.
getting it done.
I've always liked Matt Damon.
I think
Matt
he
Damon
makes,
and RDJ.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I was waiting for
Yeah, you
that.
got it.
I almost did it the first time he said it, and I
Yeah.
looked at you because I thought you were going to do it, and I was like, all right, I'm going to let it go.
Yeah, no,
Gotta
no,
do
no.
it every
You have
time.
to do it. You can't help it. Matt Damon.
It's true, though. He kills it in this movie. I think anybody else you throw there, you need that good, you know, back and forth between Oppenheimer and what the fuck is his name? Leslie Groves. Because he is a hard ass,
What a
but
good
also
name.
he knows what he needs to do here. And even at the end when they bring him in for questioning, like he's still somewhat of a dickhole, but he's still standing up for him.
A dick hole?
Yeah, dickhole.
I thought you said dickle.
Dickle.
Like a pickle?
I like dickle.
T-shirt.
Yeah. Get him at-
Just
get
a
him at-
dickle Rick. or something.
Dickle Rick. I like it.
Spitting out
Christ.
ideas over here. Yep. Anyways, keep
Dickle
going.
I'll put your face on the dick. Dickle Rick. Another t-shirt.
It's gonna be in like a jar.
I love Pickle Rick.
Ooh.
Like the
The
actual Pickle
jar
Rick, not
is
Pickle Rick.
laying
Pickle
down
Rick.
with a little bit of the pickle juice, and there's one pickle with your face on it, like pointing up, like
Yeah, get on it. Editing.
that'll be out tomorrow.
T-shirt.
Right.
I'd buy it.
Get on it.
She's
I'd
got
buy
it. She's got it. Is that you on that? Yeah.
You're wearing a pit.
Yeah.
Perfect. Runtime of this movie. Let's talk about it. 180 minutes.
Long.
How many trailers did you guys see before your showing?
3. A normal amount. I know you saw an
probably
excessive
normal.
amount because you've already said this. I saw 3.
I think mine was normal.
I think my maybe 5 or 6 trailers.
See, that feels like a lot.
It was 35
Is it
minutes.
usually like
But I
4
love
tops?
trailers.
I do too. I love trailers,
I
too.
will literally at night just watch
trailers?
trailers and put them on lists.
I'm going to say this again just because you weren't here last week when I said it. I said to Steve, I love trailers so much that when the movie starts, sometimes I'm like, oh,
I could've
I
done
could have
one
watched
more.
another one. I could have seen another one.
I think it's a
I
girl
actually get
thing, though.
disappointed if the 3 or 4 trailers that I see, if I didn't like any of them. I'm like, no, I need another one. I don't want to see any of those. I need another trailer.
Why can't they do
I want to be
classic
excited
trailers?
about the trailers.
Hey, why can't they do classic trailers
What do you mean?
sometimes? Like throw in like a Aladdin from '93 or something.
I've already seen those.
Yeah, but like
I want something to look forward to.
you can look forward to watching
Sometimes
Aladdin.
I forget what movie I'm there to see because I get excited about the trailers.
Okay.
Sound excited now?
It's
Talking
probably the
about
Monster
trailers.
Energy drink.
It might be. I used to watch a show called
Uppers
Nothing.
and downers.
Could be.
There used to be a
No,
show
I'm doubling down on uppers. is what's happening.
Woo!
back when HDTV first started becoming big.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. There was a channel called HDNet, which was like, oh, this is where you get your HD stuff. And there was a show on there that was just called Nothing But Trailers, and they would just show movie trailers.
I remember this.
Yeah, so I watched that a lot. Growing up, growing up. It was
Look,
not
I don't
that
want to be
far
the
ago.
odd man out,
Be
but
it.
you guys sound crazy.
But
Like,
you watch
just
trailers.
You guys watch just trailers.
So you're not getting on
No,
YouTube and be
I
like, man,
won't-
let's see
I mean,
what's...
I don't sit
I get
for
excited
hours and watch
for a
trailers.
trailer.
Yeah,
I don't watch trailers.
plural.
Yeah, with excitement.
Well, sometimes it helps you figure out what you want to watch, though. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
am I really in the mood for? I'm gonna need to see the full
Yeah,
trailer.
that's not a
just to
bad-
see where I'm at.
But you
Tonight.
you like the idea of or finding a new movie that you might enjoy
Mhm.
or excitement from a new movie coming out, not necessarily watching a group of trailers.
Are you living in the world today?
Yeah,
It's
'cause
nice
if
to
you
have things to
scroll-
look forward to.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Also, for me, it's really helpful because I need to plan out what movies I'm gonna pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do
okay,
reviews
right, I
on.
got you. Right.
So for
'cause
me,
you got,
that's helpful.
You got a secondary, well, I got to watch all these trailers because the Baynet needs to know what they're going to be fucking reviewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta pitch it.
Sometimes the roommate and I will get caught up in watching a bunch of trailers, and
Do you
then
know the reason? That's
Not
this
actually.
Is her. This is her boyfriend of the past 10
The
years, by
roommate.
the way.
His name is Carrick,
But
right?
she calls
Hold on.
him the roommate.
Let's say
You call your boyfriend your roommate.
we call each other roommate.
if you were listening
Exactly. Right.
and you heard her
Our
say,
11-year anniversary is 2
Your
weeks.
roommate. Your
next
roommate,
week.
you guys-
Congratulations.
Next week.
Of living together.
Yeah.
Have you guys been living together full time?
No,
right?
A few months into it, we started dating. Well, because we knew each other
A few
for
months.
a few
You
months.
guys just went.
Yeah,
Let's get
I
into-
mean,
let's get-
well, we had known each other for
Bye, dogs.
2 years before we started dating, so it's not like
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
wasn't really any surprises.
how well did you know each other before dating?
A month before we
I
started
see where
dating,
you're
or
going
a
with
year
this.
before we started dating?
You tell me.
I knew him better a month before we started dating than I knew
Okay.
him a year
All
before
right.
we
There we
started
go.
dating.
That's
Slow
all I
down,
needed to
slow
know.
Down, slow down.
Well, I need to know.
Well, it's
her-
been 11 years, so.
Right, yeah. Obviously,
I
it's
know we're
working
pretty
out.
decent now.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, yeah.
She's like, we just hooked up.
We do, like literally.
First time.
Right. Took a while to build up to it. I needed to get the courage. And,
We had to be roommates first.
yeah, we had to
You
make
know?
sure it worked.
Me and
Exactly.
Steve almost moved in together.
We did.
Oh, you guys could be celebrating your anniversary.
Yeah, he would
Dude,
be
that
my
would
roo-
be like-
my roommate. Wink, wink. yeah,
Dude, how long ago was that? Because that would be more than 11 years.
yeah, 100%.
Would be
How long you been with Tiff?
Since
longer than 11
20
years.
2010. Oh, my God.
It was. A
You
long
guys
time
got
ago.
married before I was with Carrick. So.
Yes.
We
So we got
almost
married in 2012.
Moved in together with our ex girlfriends.
Yeah.
We were young yet. We were young.
It was hilarious.
Like 2 couples.
All right, we got to
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
the story.
That would
Okay.
have been a terrible.
This is now going to be the longest
I don't think
podcast
that's
because
a
we
good
haven't
idea
talked
for
about
anybody.
Oppenheimer. But anyways,
going.
no, it's fine. So
You did it.
I didn't do it. My
You asked her.
ex-girlfriend did it.
Oh yeah.
So we were looking to move out of wherever we were at the time, me and my ex-girlfriend, and she found this house behind where Kmart used to be. So what is it now? PetSmart?
Something. Whatever. That little.
I don't know. Back then, I was still living in Charles County, so I don't.
Okay. You know
just
where
behind-
McDonald's is in Lexington Park? Not Lexington Park. Yeah, Lexington Park.
California.
California.
Mhm.
So that like street that goes between that and like where Five Guys and Panera is.
Mhm.
So if you go through that, there's a neighborhood back there. Well, there was a house before that neighborhood, and it was up for rent. And here's how shady this was: the guy was living in the detached garage above it, on the same property.
But he wanted to rent out the house.
Right.
Yeah.
And he just lived in.
Just the, I
In,
guess
like,
the
the
apartment,
suite
yeah,
above
or
the
whatever.
garage.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'll stay there, and you guys can rent the house out."
Well,
and
he
it
was he was about to get eminent domained because they were building FDR Boulevard.
right. So that house was going to be gone in like
So we had
a
no
5
idea
years or
how long
something.
we
yeah.
would have been living there.
Right. So his thing was it's so much money, and I think at the time we're like, it's a little too much. And so I guess
So
my
let's split it 4
ex-girlfriend,
ways.
well, my ex-girlfriend reached out to his ex-girlfriend and was like, "Hey, I think you guys were trying to move wherever or something. Were you in the fucking shady ass apartment behind the U-Haul place now?"
Yeah, we were. Yeah, I was in the. I forget Mayfair.
The
Mayfair
Mayfair
Lane
apartments.
Apartments,
Anyways, so we were like, yeah, let's do it. And then what happened? There was a
pretty
disagreement with. Oh, this is what it was. It was we were going to take the master suite with the big bathroom, and then your ex-girlfriend's like, well, we'll pay more a month, and then my ex-girlfriend's like, well, we found the place, and then that became like a huge. And me and him are on the outside, like,
Thank God this happened.
right. Well, we're just like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'll sleep wherever. Like, I'll sleep on the fucking
Honestly,
couch.
what would have happened?
They would have been out, and we'd be still living together.
Exactly.
Because we were already thinking, like, all right, this is where we're going to put, like, all of our video game collection. This is where TV's going to be. We're going to do that. Like, we had all this planned out, and they're just like, well, I want this room.
I
And
feel
we're
like
whatever. We're not gonna play it.
that disagreement between the two of them alone is a perfect indication of why they should not have been living in a house together.
Yeah,
Again, we both
That's how
went.
we all
Like
took
those
that.
are those are small. Like
And it was like the final day, like we were about to sign the contract and everything was good, and then she brought that up, or I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm not trying to put blame on your ex-girlfriend or anything. Okay, fuck no. But it was just a weird situation,
ex, it's
right?
fine.
Yeah, whatever.
But it was just
Not
was
throwing
funny.
shade.
maybe
whatever.
she listens to the podcast. Who knows?
I bet you she does. Hi.
Hey, girl.
All right, now I'm a little uncomfortable.
Do you need to excuse yourself to the bathroom?
No.
Just sign,
There's not a
sign
stall.
to
There's
me.
not two of them.
Do your sign language. We'll let you go.
We'll make a stall in the garage out there, and you can-
Let's go behind that curtain. Real
or
quick.
that too. Yeah, that's
Just
fine.
two toilets facing each other.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine.
Can you imagine?
Imagine. Anyways,
Release date of Oppenheimer. This is close. July 21st, 2023.
Mhm.
It is now August 28th,
2023.
2023. This would be the closest, because I don't think Jurassic World was like, I think it was out for, I mean, this is still out a while, I guess. This is a month, but no, more than a month. And maybe it was around the same time.
I watched it at home.
Oh. Well, this has had a longer stay in theaters than that did. 'Cause
I'm
that
just
was-
saying.
yeah,
I know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know. I watched Dominion at home because I didn't go to the theaters to see it because you told me not to.
Right, because it was like, it ain't worth. Yeah.
So,
And then we said it on the podcast, like,
don't go.
don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we said it again today to both of them. So
Everybody here, don't go see that movie in theaters because you can't.
Well, you can't now.
Right,
It's not even
exactly.
an option.
Top 10 that week. We're gonna get to the top 3, and then you got to guess. So I'm gonna do this. So don't look at my notes. Number 10, No Hard Feelings. Jennifer Lawrence. Has anybody seen that?
I heard it was good.
Was it
I
good?
haven't seen it.
Yeah, I did a review on that. I thought it was hilarious. It had a good message. I think.
Oh, okay. I
It
like
was
a good message.
Nice character arcs, and Jennifer Lawrence was hilarious. She did a lot of slapstick, which isn't usually her
I've seen
thing.
Yeah.
I've seen one scene from that movie, and I'm a little embarrassed to say which scene.
I
has-
think I know what scene
Okay.
you're talking about.
Did you
then.
look up a nudie scene?
I didn't
Steve?
look it up.
Don't fucking lie.
Brent, no, hold on. Brent was like, "Yo, dude, you got to see this." I'm
I
like, "What
believe
is it?"
that.
And he's like, "Check it out." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Because she like, spoilers.
Oh, it's full frontal.
She suplexes a dude full frontal nudity on a
Yeah.
beach.
and it's her. It's
It's
not. I mean,
hilarious.
It's really
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's
Nice.
why Brent sent it to me. He's like, "Dude, check out this wrestling something." I was like, "But that's oh my god."
her. We actually, when we left the theater, we looked up. Well, he looked up if it was really her, and
There's
I was
no way
like,
that was
I
not
said
her.
it is. That's
Yeah.
her,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was like,
No, she went for it.
it was her, and
I
it was her
will-
first fully. I mean, she got close in Red Sparrow,
Yeah, that was.
Well, I mean, she was.
But
oh
she-
yeah, you didn't. Show
but
me.
this was full. I
Yeah.
mean, this was her first.
full frontal.
Yeah, she's talked about it in some interviews since the movies come out too, saying
I mean, you
she
would
wanted
kinda
to
have
like
to, yeah.
make sure like
She's
she
pretty
chose the
good.
right moment to do that in her career.
Yeah.
Suplexing a dude on a beach is definitely the right moment.
And as a new mom,
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
a nude suplex, a chick doing it, and a dude doing it are two
different things. Yeah,
completely
yeah.
different things.
We-
Well, no, it was more
I-
like a
it
German
was-
suplex, though. So it
Oh,
wasn't.
really?
It was
yeah, so it was
funny,
like
though.
It was
behind.
funny.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, never mind.
Yeah. Oh.
the movie, I went into it because I was like, this looks cute. Like
Yeah,
it looks
sure.
like, I'll get some laugh. I mean, Carrick was out loud laughing multiple times during this movie. Like
that's good.
in the theater, like
Yeah.
we both left there being like, okay,
Nice.
better than
I
we
heard it was
thought it was
good.
going to be.
I'll
I'm
watch anything that she makes because
I like her.
I think she makes really good choices.
Mm.
Ever since I first saw
good, yeah.
Winter's Bone, from then on out,
a
I
good
was
movie.
like, okay,
I'll watch it.
I also like her.
I like her too.
Like in her, like I feel like she doesn't try to be something she's not. She's just like,
She's goofy
She
as
feels
shit.
a real
Fuck
like a
it.
real
Like,
person.
yeah, yeah.
Like that. Just I'm a movie star.
yeah, exactly,
Right.
exactly. She's just like, oh yeah, that's right.
yeah,
I forgot about that. Number 9, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
I for a minute forgot that these were all going to be like
Right now?
New
Brady
movies.
movies,
Yeah, yeah.
I watched this the other day.
yeah. I'm not going to see it. I don't think.
I can't. I love all kinds of movies, but stuff like Transformers, I can't.
I'm done with them.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
From-
I was good. The
from my
Shia one's
perspective.
fine. I'm done with them.
From a
I'm the
man's
guy-
perspective,
Yeah, yeah,
who's-
yeah.
who's
Well, no.
doing the comic books. Sorry,
I'll
that's what I meant.
go watch gigantic robots fight without plot.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
Yeah.
But I don't care about these anymore. I'm burnt out on the Transformers
That's
movies.
that's what I'm saying.
Like
I'm
I would go
done with
see like
them.
when I remember when Pacific Rim came out and everyone was like, "That movie is trash." I'm like, "Well, you're not going there to watch
Right.
a deep
Yeah.
movie. You're going there to watch
Some
gigantic
critically
things kick the
acclaimed,
shit out
like,
of each other."
Yeah.
performance. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. With Rise of the Beast, I was a little excited because my favorite Transformers show was Beast Wars. So I was like, okay, they got to do something cool. Yeah, they're on the screen for like 5 fucking minutes. And also the Bumblebee movie that came out with Haley
I didn't see that either.
Steinfeld. Is it
That's-
Steinfeld or
Steinfeld.
Seinfeld?
That's the
Stein-
older one, right?
Okay.
The one that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
That's-
soundtrack is dope.
It's you would
They do have good music in those
Yeah,
movies.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
That one
gonna
specifically.
lie.
you would really like that movie because it's not Transformers. Yes, it's more about her and trying to like
I like her.
be in a family and then finding a friend who just so happens to be a Transformer. So
I like her, and I feel similar about her
Jennifer Lawrence.
to Jennifer Lawrence. Not on the same caliber
Sure.
as J Law, but in that she's not out there just taking
Does
all
everyone
these
call her that?
roles.
There
Is
was
that a
there
common
was
term for
yeah,
that?
Yeah,
there,
J-Lo.
there was
Oh.
a time, the whole Bennifer time and
J Lo.
J Lo,
Sure.
J-Lo.
J-Lo.
J-Law, K-Stew.
Just curious.
Wait,
Arpat.
who's that?
Kristen Stewart.
Stewart.
Oh, I never heard that one.
I've heard all of
Was that during the Twilight era?
it. During and after.
Okay.
I still refer to her as K-Stew.
K-Stew.
Sarah's not a big fan of.
But I
her.
like
She went off on it like a huge thing on the
And
drive
another
home.
thing. Right?
on what about what?
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart.
Was it her acting in Twilight? Because
think-
her acting in other stuff is really good.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
'Cause-
I was driving. She's just going off about it. I was like,
Cool.
I don't like very many of her movies that I've seen, which is
Right.
mostly just Twilight movies.
I mean, that's
Touche.
that is half of
Yeah.
Yeah.
her
oh, yeah.
film career.
What was
to
it
be
like?
fair,
4, 5 of them?
For
4?
yeah. I'm trying-
Twilight.
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you like what you like.
Yeah,
there
there
were
was-
2 Breaking Dawns.
Yeah,
or
there
no-
was
and
Breaking
then,
Dawn Part
like-
1 and then Part 2. Was
So
Twilight.
what was
Twilight
the second
fan?
one?
Twilight fan. I will say that I'm a bigger Hunger Games fan. I think
Okay.
that had a lot more
Jennifer Lawrence.
substance.
Which
and
one?
Again,
what were the two? What
J-Law.
was the thing? It was Robert Pattinson and the other guy.
Taylor Lautner.
Which one were you?
Edward or Jacob?
Oh, Edward.
Okay.
Where's
Every
where?
girl's Edward.
Although
where
he just needs a cheeseburger, like
You weren't?
maybe a tan. He's British. I don't know.
well, here's my thing.
I've never even
Let's
found
American this guy.
I've
as fast
never
as we
even
can.
found him
let's
attractive.
round him up.
Cheeseburger and a tan. Let's do
like
it.
not even in anything he's been in. I've never found him attractive. So I was never.
Have you
Team
seen
Edward.
The Batman?
It's so
Yes,
good.
I have, but I didn't
It's
find
so
him
good.
attractive. Like I've seen the movie, but
He's not
seen the
my.
movie
He's
too.
not my pick. No. Plus, I think I'm like 10 years older than him. So it's
they're well now. Yeah, now they both feel like babies. I feel like now.
yeah.
What I was gonna say is the Taylor versus Edward or whatever. Where's Taylor Lautner right now, and where is he?
Didn't Edward? Didn't he do a little too much poundage?
Taylor Lautner
Yeah.
is married to his wife Taylor,
That's
and
confusing.
they have an adorable
Or is it?
podcast together.
Hold up. Is it the Taylor and Taylor show?
No,
Is it called
is
the
it the
Titty?
Lautners, the TLs?
The
No.
T squared.
but here's the other thing that I love
That's so weird.
about
Tay-Tay.
them
All right.
is Taylor Swift just had Taylor Lautner in her music video that she just released, even though they are exes because they are like the only ones that are on like. And his wife was a Swift fan before like
Is his wife
They got
also
together.
just like a regular person,
Yeah.
or was she okay?
she was just I think she was just like a
It's just one of us.
Cool.
just
Maybe extra.
just an
pretty.
av.
Just, whatever. That's fine. Number 8, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
I still haven't watched that.
Speaking of Haley
It
Steinfeld.
is amazing.
I made Tiffany watch it the other day.
She told me
And she was like, I
Yeah.
don't want to watch it. I'm just not feeling it. I'm like,
She liked it.
Shut
I
the
know.
fuck up. We're going to watch it.
I really wish.
I
Look,
didn't mean that badly.
I hate movies that are in
You
two
didn't
parts
say that.
most of the time, but I do
would be
wish
cut.
that this came out at the same time as the part 2 is gonna, because I will sit through 4 hours of this shit any
Yeah.
day of the week.
Well, and the thing that sucks is because of the whole strikes and everything, this is being pushed way back. The part
a
two.
lot of a lot
And
of
it
stuff.
did end. The only criticism I have of that movie is right as everything's ramping up, it goes, guess what?
Yank.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Ew.
But-
I'm waiting then.
But I get why. Like
Yeah,
you
well, that's what I told
want
my
the hype
son. I
for
told my
it.
son the same thing. I was like, look,
I'll
bud,
just wait, I think.
I don't. It's good. Watch it. It's visually one of the most stunning movies I've ever seen.
I'm gonna watch it.
Don't snatch me. It's visually one of the best
Yeah,
movies I've ever
basic.
seen.
your soul.
Your soul is mine. It musically, it's amazing. Soundtrack, incredible. The just everything about it is so well done. Watch it.
And this is the cartoon one, right?
Yeah. Have you seen the first one?
No.
Of
So-
all the
Hold on, because that's the sequel to that one, and
I
then there'll be
know.
a third one. You
I
haven't even seen that.
No, I haven't seen the first one either. I'm just gonna wait and do them all. I'll wait for the next one and just like.
Do you do cartoons? Is it harder for you to digest cartoons? Because for some people it is.
Yeah.
In a serious nature.
Yeah.
I understand. I
I
can
get it.
understand
As
that.
like a motion picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you not get emotional watching The Lion King when you were like 5?
Yep. It's a
Yeah, when you
cartoon,
were
and she
5.
was 5.
When I was
Okay.
5.
So-
if I
so-
watched it now, I would probably.
I watch
His
cartoons
brother
now,
just
so-
dropped him.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
So-
that's sad.
So, if you're still emotional watching that, then you can watch all these other cartoons.
He's trying to sell
CGI.
you right now. It
Yeah,
is
I'm
a
trying to
really,
sell you.
it's a really good movie.
If it doesn't get nominated for Best Picture, I'm gonna be fucking mad. And
I'm
it's
just
only
gonna
getting
be really
nominated.
I'm
sad.
sorry. I just
Do it.
had to stop and
Do
eye
it.
roll.
Watch
No,
it. Watch it first.
That would infuriate me.
But
It-
why?
the cinemat, like I don't even know it's cinematography, but that's the whole idea of it. They stress trying to make it like a comic book, And
Right, and it's
for
amazing.
them to
And that's
accomplish
cool.
that. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. I'm just trying to reiterate why you should watch it,
Got it.
because there are fun. It's not just like a bunch of
Oh,
like
okay, you look mad.
meaningless drawings on a piece of paper. It gets really in depth,
His flight got pushed.
Oh, so
very
you're
in
good.
depth to like how each
I
frame
was good
works,
anyway.
and like all the artistry and the different kinds of stuff they did in it. I'm a big fan. Look. I'm a kid.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of cartoons.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one that's done a cartoon movie.
I don't think the Academy would.
No, they won't. That's my thing.
But
is
maybe
I wish
for like
they would.
sound or
Well,
visual effects or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
'cause
thing is
that's happened before.
yeah, but my thing is just because it's a cartoon doesn't take it away from being an amazing movie, right? So if that movie was made with real actors and a camera, and you're going to say, "Oh yeah, that could be Best Picture," but because it's cartoon, it can't be. That's where I draw the line.
But if it was made with real people, you wouldn't like it the same because part of the reason you're saying you like it
well, they couldn't do
is that's what I'm saying.
what they're
So,
doing in that. Well, I mean, maybe.
I don't think I'd like it as much.
That's what I'm saying. Based on what you said, the feel would be completely different. because
Unless you
like
just,
the,
unless it's just people on a green screen and they do everything the same, but then
Yeah.
it still wouldn't have the same.
No.
Yeah.
It's different.
I get why people like it. It's just not my thing.
Yeah. No, that's what I know. Plenty of people that don't.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a fucking
and
cartoon.
again,
That's what it gets boiled down to.
I love cartoons.
but like again, like
I know.
I'll still watch Disney movies and I'll still
Oh, yeah.
watch Pixar movies, but I think the struggle that my brain has is that this is a cartoon that's meant to be serious, and like I know I'm watching a Disney movie.
It's-
well, I
I
mean, they're
know
not,
I'm
they're
watching
not-
a Pixar movie.
Look
You know
at
what I
it
mean?
more in the line of it feeling like a Marvel movie.
No, look at it as
But-
it's art.
Yeah,
You're watching
and
art
That's
in
what I was
motion.
gonna say in combination, but whatever.
You
Just
like
watch-
that? You like that?
Just watch a little bit of it.
All
You don't get
movies
pulled in.
are
You don't
art
get pulled in. You know.
emotions.
Just watch the trailer, girl. Just watch the trailer.
I'll just watch the trailer. I'll figure it out from there.
How about this? Talk to my wife about it because she has the same
I already did that.
thought. Yeah, and what did
I
she
know
say?
she likes it.
She went
Here's the
fucking
thing:
legit. Snatch it.
if I watch this movie
Mm-hmm.
and I love it as much as you both are saying,
Well, you're not going
and then
to
they
now
don't make
because
the second one for another fucking 4 years because of all this stuff going on, I'm gonna be so mad at you that I had to wait to get a solution to
Okay.
this one.
All right, here's what's going to happen then.
Ugh.
You're going to wait. And when that
That's what I
movie,
said!
Yeah, hold on, when that movie gets announced and there's a release date,
Then I will watch it.
we're gonna watch the first one and the second one together.
So
and
I
then
should wait
we're
on the-
gonna go.
So you're
to
telling
the
me to wait
theater.
on the first one now too?
Well, no, okay. If you want to watch the first one, you can do that because
trying to
think about
understand the
it.
deal that we're making.
The first one that came out, obviously, it took another like 3 years for the next one to come out, right? So if you want, you can watch the first one. But if you want to go to see the second or part 3, we'll watch part 2 together, and then we'll go see part 3 as a whole unit,
Oh, okay.
A collective.
like we did to Ant-Man, and we all went, "Well, that was a mistake."
Yeah.
But going to that theater was fucking
Was tight.
dope.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Also, my Alki milkshakes were so good.
the what the fuck is it called?
The Alamo.
The
Alamo.
Alamo in DC.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing experience. If
There's
you,
also one in Alexandria.
there's
too.
one in Alexandria because he went there first,
yeah.
and
on
then went,
accident,
"Oops."
and then made it to
accident.
DC.
But
right
still,
before the
it's
movie
lucky
started.
you left early just in, like in
Thank
case
God.
of traffic.
Yeah, dude, I had Sarah and the kid, the boy with me, and I was like, meow.
Yeah, so it's literally you sit down and you can eat food, alcohol, whatever you want, but it's also in like big old comfy chairs. The screen is super big and it's got like its own like
Little tables. It's a restaurant.
well no, but it's got like its own take on everything too.
Sure.
Like it's like pop what's that kind of like style like artsy stuff, pop
Pop art.
art, I guess, yeah.
But they
Would that
do.
be it?
They do a bunch of showings of like
Older movies.
older
and-
movies, more than normal movie theaters do.
It
They
is, I
have
would-
like, oh, come watch Spaceballs this Sunday kind
Right.
of thing.
That's cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's definitely. I mean,
I was gonna say Space
you know,
Jam.
I wouldn't drive there to see
Basketball
every
I'd go.
movie. You know, I
No.
wouldn't make the drive to see every
Basketball
movie there.
Yeah, I
But
would too.
But
it
it
was
could be a
cool.
thing.
They had been there before, or you had been there before. You hadn't,
Yeah.
right?
What, the Alamo? I've been there before.
Oh, I had not been there
I
before.
went with you.
So it was
And her.
cool. Like, it sounds silly, but I did like the alcoholic milkshakes. I thought that
It was
was
tight, yeah.
genius.
The food's really good.
You're still in movie theater seating, but you're in reclining movie theater seating, and your tray folds out, and they come around, and you like if you do need something during the movie, you put your little light on. They come grab your little handwritten thing, so nobody's speaking during and stuff. I mean, the food is
I thought it was great.
it's good food, but it's not. I mean,
It's like a Ruby Tuesdays.
yeah, it's not like anything.
Got it.
You're not.
Maybe Applebee's.
It's not fancy food
It's
or
like an
anything like
at-home
that.
food.
Like you
Yeah,
know,
but
there's
like-
something for
like-
everybody on the menu.
But
Minus alcohol.
good. Like Applebee's
oh yeah,
is
it wasn't
good,
bad food.
But like
we had what was the
turned up a little bit.
churro popcorn?
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't know it was something I needed
We should have saw
in my
Oppenheimer
life
I
there.
know.
until I had it.
Christmas
It
gift.
would have been way better.
There you go.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
we
So that sounds very similar to the ArcLight out in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, okay.
They've
maybe.
got like a fully stocked bar. They have waiters come out. Like the seating's amazing.
Dope.
The food was great.
Dope.
should do
Insanely
drinking
expensive.
In a movie theater.
Oh my god. How would you do
That's
that?
that would
actually
then?
make
a good idea.
noise.
Yeah, but $1 million idea.
You could do. Have you
They
guys
have to
ever
be
played
quiet
Song
somehow.
Quiz? There's something called
Oh.
Film Quiz.
Okay.
You can do it on
Yeah.
like an Alexa device
Okay.
or whatever. Film
Yeah.
quiz. That could be something you guys could do. They just you
Thank God
listen
this is
to
publicly
like
documented.
10
Me coming up with this idea right now.
seconds of a movie clip, just the wording.
That's cool.
And then you have to guess what the movie is. The you can guess like 80s, 90s, 2000s,
Oh, I get it. Okay.
2010s. That one's fun, and I dominate. Obviously,
It'd be cool, like the movie you've never seen before too, and they hand all the stuff out to you before the movie happens. Like this is what you have to do if
That
this
would be
happens. If you
kinda tight.
call it right with your friends.
So you do it like Sunday matinee or like so you're not going to the bigger movies, but you
Yeah.
do something like
and it's like if you miss it or whatever, someone walks out and they give it to you, like you and your
That's
friends. Anyways, I don't know. Spitballing
Number 7,
the poundage.
Elemental. Elemental, another CGI Pixar movie.
I don't know.
No idea actually.
I think it might be Pixar.
I think it-
I think it is. It was
Yeah.
where
That seems right.
yeah. Number 6, Insidious: The Red Door.
I
Go
can't,
for it.
I can't wait to watch it.
Okay, I haven't watched it either.
I haven't either.
I've watched the first ones.
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the franchise. Hopefully, this is the third and final, because I just wrote an article going on about franchises and how it's just gotten out of control. And I think trilogies are a good way to tell a fully well-rounded story. And it's horror. I love horror,
Right.
and I think it's done really well. And it really.
Do you
they
watch it
really-
like? Are you like a watch by yourself?
Yeah, I can watch it
kinda
by
horror?
myself.
I did it for the first time with the Pope's. or
You
we were talking
said
about.
the Pope's Exorcist.
I don't watch horror movies by myself for whatever reason, but
Well,
I envy people like
Just in
you
case.
that can just sit there and like put on something like
Right.
it's Insidious or any of those movies. Annabelle. I remember that came on and I watched a little bit of it and I'm like, no, I'm not good.
don't get me started on
I
The
was like,
Conjuring.
no, not for me.
The Conjuring universe, if you will, because they have so many movies, but they're diverse enough where it's not just the same old storyline. I love that it's based on real people, horrifying, and The Nun scares the living shit out of me.
Just
that
looking
was
at
pretty
it, like
creepy.
just a
Yeah,
picture of it is
something
creepy.
inside of you is just it like moves and
Ugh.
it's unsettled, and you're like, no.
It was just a little doll for me. That's all. All the other ones were pretty much fine, but the little doll for me
Dolls
just
is-
sitting there like,
evil dolls.
Yeah, it's not a thing for
Something's
me.
not right.
The thing that I really liked is when Marlon Wayans made fun of that in it was a Haunted House 2 or whatever.
oh,
and he
yeah,
has like
shit is hilarious.
he has like an affair with the doll on with his wife. It's
I didn't see that one.
This movie's so funny where the ghost sneaks in, yanks the sheets off, and has sex with the girl.
Yeah.
But she's not. She's like into it. She's like, yeah.
That's in Scary Movie too.
yeah, but
It's in
it
this
also
too,
has so
but it's way more funny in this
it's
one.
made by the same guys, right? The Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
So
And then it happens to the guy, but it's completely different.
Right.
What happens to him?
They did the same thing. It was a guy and a girl in Scary Movie 2 too.
Yeah.
2.
You mean the ghost
Also-
and Tori Spelling?
Yeah.
That okay.
yeah, that happens. But
I'm pretty sure it happens with a guy too.
in Scary Movie 2?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Look it up. There's the basketball scene, which is hilarious, which nobody gets anymore because that whole, remember the Nike swoosh commercial where they come out like the and one stuff and they'd be doing the basketball,
Yeah.
passing it to everybody? Yeah, it's good, right?
It's not bad.
What are you looking at, dog?
We're talking about ghosts now. Hunter comes. He comes in here. Gunner comes in. He's looking for ghosts now.
Yeah, I see that. He was barking at one.
He's
Did
a
you hear that?
ghost hunting dog.
He might be.
Yeah.
Could be helpful.
He is German. Does that matter?
Germans like to hunt.
I guess. Lay down. Lay down. Anyways, number 5, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Did you guys see it?
I saw it.
What'd you think?
I thought it was great. You have to know what you're walking into, of course. And it's
Those are my
Indiana
favorite
Jones.
movies of all
So
time.
It's a
It's kind of that-
95-year-old man trying to jump off of a train onto another train.
How old is he in real life? And then how old is he
he's
in
got to
the,
be in his
the
mid
movies?
70s, maybe even late 70s. I don't know.
thought he was
I
older
would
than
think
that.
so.
So I mean, it was his last hurrah
I could find
as Indy. I thought they wrapped it up well.
Indy. I enjoyed it. I know you were a little like, but
It's entertaining for
Sure. It was.
Just
It's
entertainment. You're not
blockbuster-esque
walking
thing.
away with like some different view of the world or something. It's
Yeah.
nostalgic. It's
I lost a lot of it with the Crystal Skull. A lot of it
Yeah.
became. I know it's not. These movies kind of felt tangible. The earlier ones felt like you can grab a hold of something. There was a little bit more national treasure and reality involved. And of course, there'd be always like a little mythical thing at the end, and it'd be like, "Oh, that's awesome!" But it was always small and minute. And then these
Yeah.
past 2 ones have been gigantic and obscene.
yeah.
Like from the nuclear explosion to the mountaintops coming off and sinking in a gigantic ocean. It's like, okay,
I kind of liked this one though. Like, spoilers for, you got to throw it out there. Him going back in time and meeting Archimedes or whatever, like that was cool. And for him to be like, "Yo, I'm staying here," and she's just like, "No, you're fucking not," and just punches him out. Like, I don't know. I like that. I dug that. I did not see that coming either. Like the whole point where Miles, how do you say his fucking name? Mickelson or whatever.
I don't know. I'm
The
not
bad guy in the movie, him being off, and he's like, "Dude, you fucked up the math or whatever," and then they go into the wrong like place and time. Is just so. It's such a good thing. Like,
That's
yo,
what
I
happens to
fucked
every
up.
bad guy in most of those. They paid very good homage to things.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
I will give the movie. They had at least 6 or 7 quotes that were direct quotes and direct.
Yeah.
Like-
the biggest problem I had with it was the chase scene in the middle of the movie where they're on that fucking whatever thing.
Yeah, you're talking about the Uncharted chase scene.
Yeah, it just went on a little too long, and there was a couple like come-ons in there. You know?
Come on.
Right. So don't give me that. Like it just made me think of the new Jurassic World where where's the second one? See, I don't even know. There's a fucking they're buying and selling dinosaurs. Tara, was that in Dominion? Or was that in the second how many Jurassic Worlds were there?
3.
3.
There's 3 of each.
Is in the third one they go to the black market of dinosaurs?
Like the actual, like where you see all the dinosaurs,
Yeah.
like in in the cages and they're
Yeah.
having like the fighting and stuff.
that
That's
the third one?
Dominion. 2 is when they were in the room and they're all bidding on the ones that come
See,
in.
it's all a blur.
The professor is seduced and killed by the ghost of Hugh's mistress.
But it's a woman.
No. Shortly
Are you guys
later,
still debating the.
yes. Shortly later, he encounters the same ghost, but he seduces and has sex with her.
But he's not getting fucked by an invisible ghost.
No, but he has sex with the ghost.
Right, that's what we were talking about.
This ghost penetrates a girl and then penetrates a dude.
Oh, like the same ghost.
Right,
Penetrates both
right.
of them.
Yeah, I don't want to
As
go
in
any
two different
further
ghosts.
into that.
Invisibly. Invisibly?
But it's fucking hilarious.
It is. It really is.
It's a ghost whore.
Yeah.
Number 4, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Speaking
Maybe
of
part 2.
Or is it Part 2? No, because they're
I said,
making a part
are
2.
they going to?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
speaking of movie series,
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
I've been done with it since Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah, it needs to go.
2.5, 3 of them ago. 3 Mission
Exactly.
Impossibles ago.
You
It
can't.
was
You've lost
ama-
count.
It was
You've lost
that
count.
movie
so
was very, very good.
Is that the one with
The one-
Henry Cavill?
it was the one with Tom Cruise.
Oh, look at you.
Those movies, they're not bad. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's too many. I didn't see it. And when I was a kid, for whatever reason,
The second one,
I
isn't it?
got to watch the original Mission
Oh.
Impossible. I think it was on VHS.
Oh, yeah, of
So
course.
good.
I wasn't allowed to watch movies growing
Oh.
up. So
Maybe that's why you're so into them now.
I like that.
probably
That
Well, now you're- yeah.
kickstarted her career
Right.
in film.
yeah, I was like, how dare you? So as a teenager, like I missed out on a lot of classics, but I made up for it in later years. But that movie, like, rocked my world. Like that when he's chewing the gum, he's like, red light, green light, and smashes it
Yeah,
against
so
the
good.
window. And I'm like, I want to do what he does. So like that was a huge thing for me. And now it's sad because again, I kind of going back to what an article that I wrote is that these franchises have got to stop. And I think you'll find in the list that we're counting down, people are less and less people are going to these and they're going to original stories.
Probably for the
People-
better.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels not lazy may not be the right word, but it just feels like
It is lazy.
you're
Yeah,
dragging
right.
it out.
You're
like,
dragging it out.
Some of them are great,
It's
though. Some of-
safe.
that's like
To
been
negate them
Tom
all would
Cruise's
be-
career for the last like 5 years, or is just
And
those
he's
movies.
a great actor. Like
He
War
can
of
do
the
more than that.
Worlds and like Interview with the Vampire. I mean, you could name a million movies.
Collateral, yeah.
Although
So
Top
fucking
Gun, Maverick.
Still haven't seen it. I'm not going to watch it.
Oh my
I liked
God,
it.
I loved it.
I liked it,
I
and
loved it.
I wasn't
It was-
excited.
It was good, Steve.
I'm sure it is. I'm just not a Tom Cruise guy when he's just doing the same thing every
Listen,
time.
I've said this on this
can't-
podcast.
I can't see
am
Val
not.
Kilmer
I'm not
right
a Tom
there.
Cruise person. I'm not. I'm not a Tom Cruise person. There have been movies that I have liked him in. There are movies of his that I like, but I am not a. He's not anywhere on my list where if I see him, I'm like, I gotta see that movie.
But you went Maverick, I'm in.
No, I went with Carrick
Yeah.
and
Kara, come in.
and also Miles Teller was in it.
Miles
Miles
Teller.
Teller was in it.
Miles
So
Teller was a huge selling point
I
for me.
went and
Miles
I liked it.
Okay.
I
Was it
liked
Lords
it.
of War? What is that movie that he did with
War of the
Jonah?
Worlds.
Not my tempo. What?
Oh no, that was
Whiplash.
Whiplash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is a fucking masterpiece
yes,
of a
it
movie.
is, absolutely.
I was gonna go back to Tom Cruise. That first Mission Impossible movie had no right looking as good as it does. If you watch
For
it
that,
again
like
now,
back then.
the way the cameras
You're right.
shot,
You're
I would
right.
all
still
those
watch
shot,
it over and over.
it was so well thought out. It is a beautiful fucking movie.
John Voight, right?
I don't fucking know.
Was John Voight not the bad guy in that?
I'm just
I
gonna
believe it,
Or
recognize
like
and I know-
he's the guy that turns into the bad guy?
Emilio.
Yep.
Emilio Estevez was in it.
It was
With
Roxbury.
Angelina Jolie's dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that John Voight?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Correct.
I'm terrible with names. I tell everybody this.
Driving
You know
around
this.
in John Voight's car.
Yeah.
No, nobody's got that. Seinfeld, what's up?
But no, yeah, that movie's amazing. Mission Impossible 1, stamp of approval.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, top 3.
Sure.
I'm going to give you guys them in no particular order. And we're
Oppie.
going to go around, and then you got to guess the order.
Okay.
Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Sound of Freedom,
Mm-hmm.
which we're going to talk about in a second.
Keep going.
Barbie.
We're all gonna have a consensus of this, right? We know this order. We know this order.
Do you?
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I know the
What's the order? Tara.
I'm going to go Barbie. And the way you said it's making me change my mind, but I'm going to go with my original instinct. I'm going to go Barbie, Oppie, and then Freedom.
Same.
I'm gonna go Freedom, Barbie, Oppenheimer.
See, I was gonna put Freedom at number 2.
So before we say
My
it,
secondary guess.
we're going to get into
Are we
this
talking globally or just domestically?
globally.
Okay, well, Sound of Freedom hasn't gone international yet.
True.
So I could be wrong. But I'm just going to stick to it.
She's going to stick to it.
I'm gonna
Before
stick to
before we say it, there has been some stuff in the media about Sound of Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen all that.
How people are buying out these theaters and no one's going to them. So it's an inflated number that no one's actually paying attention to this movie. Have you seen the movie?
I have seen the movie. I did a review. Well, it was a movie review, but more so it was a human trafficking piece. How it spotlights human trafficking, because I wanted to write a story about that. It's a really important issue.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel the movie did with regards to real life portrayal of what's in the movie?
I think it did a pretty good job, although I think that if they had gotten any more real, I don't think people could stomach it. I don't think it would have done as well, because human trafficking
It's fucked
is
up.
one of the
I've
most
seen Taken.
heinous crimes. Most heinous crimes, these children.
Oh,
so
yeah,
young.
for sure.
And it's children, and we're talking about pedophiles,
Mhm.
and people are already uncomfortable. So but it's an important topic.
I had no
and
idea this
the
movie
numbers
existed.
have gone. There's like over 2 million underage children
Mhm.
who are in the sex trafficking slave trade, if you will. We have more slaves today than we did when slavery was legal, and
Wild.
it's children being trafficked.
Are you saying in the United
What is
States
the
or
name of this
globally?
No,
fucking
this
movie?
is global.
Sound of
Okay,
Freedom.
This
I
is
was gonna say, I was
globally.
Yeah.
I was like, I
But
don't
one
think
of the
that- yeah.
biggest destinations for human trafficking is the United States. It's in the top 5-10 places for them to be delivered.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
So
Well,
there's
I don't know
still
who got
a
her.
lot. The movie's mostly based out of Colombia, I believe. So he goes to Colombia, and it's based on a real guy. I think they did a good job with him and what he's about, and the what he went through and what he did to rescue so many children. It was an amazing story.
Has anyone else seen this movie? Have you seen this movie, Steve?
We're not going to get too deep into it because this could completely go off the rails here. But I'm on the other side of that movie because I've read a lot about how that dude is not very credible with what he said, and that movie is half and half the real story. But again, who really knows?
Okay, now I gotta fucking watch
Jim
something.
Caviezel, you remember him from Passion of the Christ?
Yes.
Who went,
Jesus.
yeah, Jesus himself.
No,
He
Jewish.
I'm Jewish.
So was Jesus.
This is
My
true.
Essentially.
He was a carpenter.
Wally.
I can believe him being Jesus is not coming back.
He's not going to tell
He
you.
can still be Jewish.
No, he famously kind of went off the right wing deep end, Jim Caviezel, and got with some other people, and they made some. It doesn't matter. We don't need to get into it. Anyways, the movie though is weirdly ballooned up because of people buying tickets for it and not going to it. So it was almost like this social media thing, hey, we need to get back to this movie or we need to support this movie, which was also filmed in 2018 and came out then, and nobody went and saw it. So then they brought it back out and then tried to do this thing. It's just a weird thing that's happening, but it is not actually number one. It is a Barbie, Oppenheimer, Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, this is what I was surprised by, because I saw everywhere that week
Mm-hmm.
about the records that Barbie was breaking.
Did you walk in the movie? You didn't see it in movie theaters. Did you walk in the movie
I haven't
theaters?
seen Barbie yet.
I walked into the movie theaters to
saw that.
watch Oppenheimer,
Mm-hmm.
and
there's
there's
girls-
a bunch of chicks dressed up, and I'm like, what is going
What
on?
is happening?
'Cause
Barbie.
I don't pay
Yeah.
attention to
I
this
saw
stuff.
Oppenheimer in the movie theater.
I like movies, but
Did
I
you
don't
see
follow
women
it.
dressed up
I
as
just
Barbie?
watch obscene amounts. That's
No.
where I stand with movies.
Sure.
Oh yes,
Just a
Stunning.
shit ton of movies. But I walk in there not knowing. I know of Barbie. I didn't know it was coming out at the same time. And there's all these girls decked out and shit, full grown
Yeah.
adult
Killing
women, fully
It's fun.
decked out.
It's very
I
fun.
have Barbie sweatpants. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah.
And
Go for
I'm
it.
just looking around like I'm in fucking Twilight Zone. That's what she's like.
You never
I'm
saw
gonna take my mom to
the
see-"
Barbie Hammer fucking memes and stuff?
No, I didn't see any of that stuff.
Oh.
I'm removed.
You're missing out.
I mean, the amount of money that movie has made.
Ridiculous.
I mean, Greta, she broke a record. It's the most of a female director ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is amazing.
She's awesome.
I could see Margot Robbie. I could see her as she's very Barbie-esque. How I envision Barbie.
Stereotypical
Barbie,
That's-
right?
yeah, and that's the point,
What's
yeah.
his name?
Ryan
the dude-
Gosling.
Yeah, I don't
He's
know.
not Ken.
I can,
But
I
he's
can,
the
I
Ken
can-
of that movie. Like, I see it, but he's not. When you think
He's
of
not
Ken,
Ken.
I haven't seen the movie, but just
Yeah.
imagine I'm removed and I'm trying to picture like a sculpted
Who your kin would
face.
be? Who
Yeah.
your kin? Who's your kin?
Let me think.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it, but I kind of
A
agree with
young blonde Rob Lowe.
it. Oh. I see it.
Yeah,
I
if
see
you
it.
could turn back time.
Yeah, but no, it's.
I mean, but
It's
Margot Robbie's like
just
in
a
her
chiseled, equally spaced. You look at what's his face's face, and it's like, meh,
Yeah.
you know.
So I get
I'm
what
not
you're
saying
saying.
he's not good looking. He's a good looking dude. He's a gorgeous man.
I thought-
but I envisioned Ken as like a fucking
Perfect, yeah.
immaculate dude, kind of like Barbie. is
I
like
thought
how
he was
women-
too blonde.
He was too blonde.
I agree.
From what I
think-
remembered, Ken, the
I
actual.
thought Ken was like a brown, dirty
Me too.
blonde.
That's
how
what I'm saying. I felt
remembered
like he
as a
was
kid.
too blonde.
But I will say this about Gosling. I think that he was probably picked for the part because the ladies love him.
Yeah,
I mean-
yeah. So,
And yeah,
since-
he is, I guess, older, but Margot Robbie's got to be in her
She's older
mid-30s.
too, yeah, yeah.
Where
And
does
he's
he?
like 40.
Where does he fall in your guys'
She's got
dude
Ryan,
tier
then
list?
Ryan,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then another.
Is he
no.
in your top 5?
Hold on. So Ryan,
top 10.
Reynolds.
Probably.
Ryan
Top 10.
Reynolds is one, obviously.
Yeah.
Who's
Oh,
underneath that?
Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
What's
yeah.
that?
He's
oh,
number
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah.
He's
But
absolutely
who's right under there?
I don't think the other ones have a specific order.
Okay, but what?
He's
Sure.
got his number.
Top 5. What do you got?
I feel like it changes.
Top 3.
I feel like it
So
does change.
What are the other 2 or 3 in your
Sure.
top?
So
5? 'Cause we
Ryan-
know those 2.
Ryan.
Reynolds, Chris Evans is on there.
Okay, I see. Oh.
Paul Rudd's on there
Oh, okay. I thought you
for
were gonna be
other
like
reasons,
cutie.
not
Thought you were gonna be like-
necessarily like.
Rodney Dangerfield. He's just.
Yeah.
No, Paul Rudd's on
Sorry,
there.
no
Paul
respect.
Rudd's
I
on
get no
there,
respect.
but Paul Rudd is on there as a whole.
You just love Paul Rudd.
He's the he's
So
I
you're
got it, I get
saying
it.
The whole deal.
on the whole,
Preparation H.
he's the whole
Yeah.
he's the whole deal.
Sure.
Paul Rudd's got on
do you
there
have
for
a
the whole
top
deal.
5?
Yeah,
On
and
the spot.
it's pretty similar
Okay.
actually. Ryan Reynolds,
Sure.
I've loved him since Two Guys, a Girl,
say
in
it,
a
yes.
Pizza Place.
That's my
A
favorite
fellow
show.
Canadian.
Yep.
I knew watching it. I was really young watching it, and I was like, that guy,
Stands
hot.
out. Yep.
but he's gonna be a
He's gonna
movie
do
star.
it. Yep.
And he's great.
I've been
and
trying
I
to get
love
her to
him.
watch that show for like
It's a great
a
show.
year and a half.
I know.
It's a
I
great
know.
show.
Yeah.
Great show.
It goes off at the end, but it's still.
It was such a good show. Chris Evans for sure. Henry Cavill.
Oh,
Um,
it's because he.
I got
builds
some real
computers.
random ones. Alexander Skarsgård.
Ooh, Scar.
Love him.
Which one's he? I know that name. Which one's he? Give
He
me a
played
face
like
in a movie real quick.
Tarzan, the Northman. He was in,
Oh, yep, I'm good.
Okay,
I
you're
got you.
good?
Yep.
and then I would say maybe he's a little bit older, but Sam
Worthington from
no,
Avatar.
No.
okay.
He's always like he's like a disco groovy. He was in Charlie's Angels. He was like the bad guy in the new Charlie's Angels. What is it?
Oh, I didn't see the. I didn't
Like the
see
one with the women, the new Charlie's.
haven't
Or are you talking about?
They're
Like,
all one
Oh,
with
not
women.
not the brand new
angels
ones,
are
but like
always
the Drew
women.
Barrymore
Yeah.
one.
well, no, sorry, there was
He was in Iron Man. Also, he was a bad guy in Iron Man.
Iron
Which
Man 3.
one?
No, I
No.
believe the first
Oh,
one.
you're
He was
talking
like
about
overly
fucking-
tan in that movie, and
I need to
Sam-
know.
What is? Why am I forgetting?
Does he
his name?
explode?
You talking about
In the
the
movie?
original Charlie's Angels
Does
with
that be
Drew
the third
Barrymore?
No, that's okay. For
The original of the
movie-wise,
movies, because the
yes,
new
yeah.
one to me is the Kristen Stewart.
Okay, yeah, I
one.
never saw those. No.
So
Yes.
I know who you're talking about. Then I cannot
Yeah,
remember. I cannot tell you
Sam-
his last name,
what
but
is
I know
his name?
exactly who
It's
you're
gonna drive
talking
me
Would he
about.
make a good Ken?
No.
No.
Okay. that's
Sam
not wrong.
Rockwell,
Sam
Rockwell.
Rockwell.
Show
Thank
me,
you.
show me your,
I-
show me your shit.
And this one
Iron
always
Man 2.
throws. Oh, sorry.
He's
Iron Man 2.
whatever.
He's the competing arms guy who's
Gotcha.
trying.
Hammer
Yep.
Industries,
Yep.
I don't know what
Justin
it is
Hammer.
about him.
He's
I
got
just
the
think
stuff.
He's so sexy.
Galaxy Quest. Have you
So
seen?
good.
He's like, do you know my name? Do I even have a last name?
I was gonna.
Best.
It's
Yeah.
my turn next week.
So
So I
I'll
think
save it.
mine
I'll
are
save it.
pretty
That's yours. You can have it.
classic. I have a thing for blondes. too.
I
don't know why.
also. Chris Hemsworth is on my list.
Oh yeah.
Chris Hemsworth is on my list, but Chris.
Yo, Extraction.
It just,
Let's talk dude stuff for a little bit.
Jesus
The new
Christ.
Extraction. There's a
great.
scene.
isn't it like 5 minutes
Holy
long or something?
fuck! It is
I haven't
so
seen it.
good, and it's all John Wicky, and it's just fucking gorilla shot.
All right.
And he's jumping in and out of cars, like that fucking GoPro shit where they hand it in, and they take off. It's so fucking good.
All right.
Yeah,
It's
get
on my list.
Watch that shit.
All right.
It's
It's
alright.
over the top.
I
It's
like
fine.
it.
Sorry.
What's fine?
No,
It's
it's
fine.
Okay, now we're back to women.
What's your top 5?
Oh,
guys?
women. So Blake. Oh, you mean you're
Yeah,
back
no,
to
I
us?
just
let's
get
get-
back
let's
to
get
you
teased.
I was
guys.
about to say I probably have a
My
list
top
on that
5
side too.
guys.
Yeah,
I have a
top
women's
5
list
If
too.
we're gonna do it, top 5 guys. Go ahead.
Okay, Ryan Reynolds is in it. Let's be real.
He's not in my top 5. He's in all you
What?
guys' top 5.
He's so funny.
Ryan Reynolds
feel like
he
is
could-
is
I feel like he could
arguably
be a-
every guy's secret male crush.
I feel like he'd be annoying
Let's
as
be
fuck
real
after a
here.
while. I love him, but there's no
You
way.
need a break.
Wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're talking about spending time with him?
Yeah, duh.
Oh, okay.
That's part of
Talking
my.
about-
I'm
Good
not
Lord, I
shallow.
was like, oh my
I'm
God.
not shallow.
Me either.
I got to spend
I
time with
want
this
to
person.
get to know you.
Oh my
I just want to look at you.
Like,
Top
I
five,
watched your
Steve.
movies. I know you. Like,
I get it.
I don't
get
need you
what's
for
going
that.
on here.
Seth Rogen, because I like to laugh.
You
And he's got the best laugh. Yep.
Hate his
laugh
laugh.
is
I hate it.
it's so
what?
It's
it's
infectious.
infectious, but
Think
as
about
it
it for a second.
goes, you're like, okay,
It's
stop.
gross to me. It's like
It's
something stuck
like
in
a
his...
hockaloogie kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I
it's
love it and hate it
But
because
I'm a
I
dude,
do
so
feel
I'm
like
about
it
to
is
keep going.
infectious because you can just tell that he's fully like
Enjoying
laughing
himself.
with his
Yeah,
whole self.
Yeah.
But then
We're
at
talking
some
like pretty
point it
dudes?
sounds fake.
Yeah.
It's
Or we
like
talking to-
this
Just
can't
crushes,
be real.
right?
This
Just
cannot be your
crush
your
doesn't
real
have to
laugh.
be like you want to have sexual intercourse
No,
with said
you
person.
just enjoy
Yeah.
them as
Yeah,
entertainers.
that person's dope as shit.
Fabio. No, I'm joking.
Listen, Paul Rudd was on
Yeah,
my
yeah,
list,
yeah,
and
that
as I
makes
said,
sense.
he was
Yeah.
not just on it because he looked like Ryan Reynolds.
Hold
He's on it because
he was sexiest man alive.
She would also still
he
do that.
was. Do you know why?
'Cause he
Because
was-
the daughters and the moms all
And the
want
mom-
Paul
and
Rudd.
the moms. I don't know. I really
He
don't know.
spans
Think about it.
generations.
Just think about
Yeah,
it.
he's just like...
Never
and
been
he was in
broached with this
Clueless.
before.
He was
Yeah.
in Clueless. Are you kidding?
Classic.
I like that
If
movie.
my stepbrother
great
was
movie.
Paul Rudd,
You'd be
yeah.
a little more modern, wouldn't you?
yeah. There's no blood there.
Here,
got a
here-
There's no
right
blood
now.
there.
Here at the decision reel,
We're getting to
we
the bottom of the
tackle
real
the
shit.
real
Yeah.
issues.
Who's your top 5 guys?
Paul Rudd was my stepbrother.
I'm just saying.
Tara, why are you stuck in the dryer? What the
There's
fuck
no
is
blood
going
there.
on?
I can't get out.
There's no blood there, and they didn't grow up together. They were only, like they said, they were kind of only
Yeah, that's
If
how
that's
the-
what you're
that's
going
how-
with.
related
that's
for a
how-
little bit.
That's how the story goes, I believe.
Yeah.
You know,
She makes the comment that the mom and dad were only married for a little bit, but he's always over here.
Brendan
She
Fraser.
says that. I'm surprised you didn't say that earlier, to be honest with me.
like current,
With you.
it doesn't matter, right?
Mommy.
You don't. I don't,
Encino Man to
I don't
like.
think we're giving that option,
2000
Steve.
You didn't bring the rules
yeah,
out
but
here.
They pick current. You guys are current. In
You know
your
what?
picks, correct?
Oh yeah, I'd still do all of
We're
mine
not
now.
doing an
today.
era of
I
a
would
human
love him
being.
regardless.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I'd probably put RDJ on my list too,
We would go out for ice cream.
to be honest. Not Oppenheimer on RDJ,
I think
Yeah,
he's
well,
bald.
like-
Isn't he
but
bald
like-
as shit now?
but like
No, he's
Due Date
not.
RDJ,
No, it's just,
Is
Iron
that
Man
just
RDJ.
this? Okay.
No, he's looking fine. They just made him look old.
I'm fine. Yeah.
Speaking of
Jason
Oppenheimer,
Bateman.
what?
Jason Bateman.
Jason
probably
Bateman.
on my list.
She
that's
she has a long list.
Yeah.
This is never ending. So let's keep going.
Speaking of never ending, this movie, super low. Budget time. What do we think it costs to make Oppenheimer?
I feel like easy 100.
$100 million.
Easy 100.
Like just right on the
That's
nose.
how- you and I are like
We're on it today.
pretty linked
linked
now.
up.
I would say somewhere between 100 and 120 million.
So I guess 120 as well. You guys are going with a hundy?
Sure.
Well, we just said at least, but yes, that's
And
what I'm
I
gonna go
cheated
with.
Fine.
and I gave
I'll
myself space.
hang in there
Right.
with you.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll both.
Well, it is $100 million. Look at you guys. Look at you.
You didn't even blow it up. And we're talking about
Oh my
My
God,
hands are
that's
sweaty.
derogatory.
I wanted to get back to my sweat spot before anyone could see it.
Cover it up.
Okay, what do we think?
I'm a big.
I'm a
Okay,
big
go ahead.
burly man.
Yeah.
What do we think it made then overall?
Like,
until today.
so much
'Cause
money.
so we're going up till today, August 28th, 2023.
yeah, because it's not cut off yet.
It's not yet, because we could go to the movie theater and add to this tonight.
$365 million.
Okay.
I think that's low.
The last time I checked,
If Barbie was in the
it
theaters, I think it
was
would have made a lot more.
155. So I would have to, my best guess would be around 300
$300 million.
million.
I'm
That's a
gonna
big-
say,
I mean,
I'm
that's
gonna
a
say
big number, yeah.
425.
425. It made opening weekend. Sorry, I guessed. What did I guess? I guessed 850 million.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
That's a big boy number.
Opening weekend, it made 82.5 million.
That's more than Shrek.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
I think Barbie made 152 or something like that opening weekend, which
That's
is
obscene.
insane.
As
That's
of,
insane.
As of this morning, it has made $777.198 million
Globally?
That's near
globally.
Shrek.
Which has got to mean Barbie has broken a billion by now.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
I feel like.
I hold all my standards to Shrek too when it comes to obscene
Dude,
amounts
it,
of
like,
money.
That
Why?
movie made so much money.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Like a
was a
normal,
believer.
you would go ask a normal person, they'd be like, they would never expect Shrek 2 to have made what it made.
Yeah.
The Rotten Tomatoes score time, the Roddy T's,
All
the
of
tomatometer.
the percentages.
What do we think critics gave it, and what do we think the audience score gave it out of 100%?
I'm going 90s crossboard.
90.
Oh my God. Like,
We there
I was
together?
literally
I'm gonna
saying
say-
the
Like
same
separated.
thing.
I'm going to say this
That's what I'm talking about, Tara.
98.
Wait, but which
Ooh.
do you think is higher?
Critics.
Probably
Yeah,
critics
probably.
I know that's
than
not-
the
Probably
average
right.
person.
I'm going to go. Yeah, I mean, I think critics are higher, but I'm still going to stick to 90 across the board.
90.
I'll go 92-90. How about
Okay,
that?
sure, whatever. You were saying
Just to back
98
up my
critics?
words that I'm speaking.
98 and maybe like 91.
91 audience. Tara, we got.
Oh, I'm
Oh, you're saying.
just
Same,
tying.
same.
I'm tying myself to Walter today.
Same.
Hey.
So I guessed
I keep getting things wrong. So.
I guessed 90 critics and 85 audience. IMDb gave this an 8.6, but the critic score for Tomatometer 93%, audience 91%.
Off
I
by
was
one.
right
You
on
were
the
off by one though.
audience.
You
Yeah,
said
there you
92
go.
and 90. Off by one.
Yeah.
Look, it's a slippery slope. Sometimes it's like right on, sometimes it's way off.
Yeah.
It's always a weird thing. So you
That
never
we've had some movies that threw us for a loop. Like we were like certain, and
They'd be a lot better
we
than
were
they were.
shocked.
there was one where it was like, oh yeah, easy 70. Nope, 35.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were like,
that was
what
one
the
of the
fuck?
current ones. What
Yeah,
It
was
was
that? Which
well,
one
and
was that?
it was an audience one. That's what we were so surprised
Oh,
by
yeah.
because we thought,
Was it
if
Stand
anything,
By?
the
No,
critics.
Stand By Me was critically acclaimed. What
Yeah,
was the
Stand By
what was
Me
the one
was-
before that?
Even Bedazzled last week was a little low too, I thought.
I don't remember which one it was, but I remember us
It was
being
right
like,
before that, I think.
I remember critics being higher, and we were so surprised that the audience one was
low.
so
yeah,
low.
yeah.
I hate when I bring a movie to you guys and then we do the Roddy tease.
Makes you
And
feel
it's
bad
like,
about your.
yeah, I'm like, God damn.
Nobody.
I don't know what that's like. Most of my choices. Have been.
Shut up.
That's
Tara.
not true.
Excuse me. Who was your
We're not
favorite
gonna talk about Alpha
character? Who was your favorite character in this movie, Tara? She's thinking.
Oh yeah, I am. Listen, I just saw it, so I have a lot. I feel like I have a lot. I feel like
Just saw it.
I feel like Matt Damon was my favorite character.
Matt Damon.
Mm-hmm.
It was
I mean,
good.
feel like Matt Damon was
he really does do a really good job, and he shows up like an hour into the movie, which is not halfway, but could be in all other movies. And he kills it from the point he's there to the end. I mean, I did
When
not.
we get through this part, I have things to say,
Oh shit.
but I'm not gonna cut. I don't want to.
Okay,
You know.
that's fine.
But Matt Damon,
suspend.
I would
Matt
say
Damon.
Matt Damon. I mean, I liked Oppie.
Matt
obviously.
Damon.
Walter, what do you got?
What's the redhead? His wife, his second,
Blunt.
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 Yeah. She
She-
had some of the more like
I
real
actually,
fucking scenes.
I almost said her.
Yeah. Like that point where she's like drunk and like throwing shit around the house, and there's points where she's happy, and then at the very end, she had my favorite payoff, that fucking handshake. You know what I'm saying? When she bails on that shit, I was like, yes.
Listen,
She's a badass.
we walked
yeah.
out of that theater, and I looked. Well, we were still sitting in our seats, but like the movie ended, and I looked right at Carrick, and I was like, that was literally us, because Carrick is that person who would just like, I don't fucking care. Like, you know, he lets everything go. He doesn't hold. I said, no, I would have been her right next to being like, nope.
Good.
I'm too loyal for like I'm loyal to a fault. At
I think it's a
times, so
testament
I'm
how
like,
good this movie is that you cared so much about a fucking handshake. By the way, I remember
I did,
thinking
yeah.
like
I
feeling
did.
fucking
so
good about it.
satisfying. You're like,
It's years later,
Mhm.
And
she's
even
just
after-
stewing, I'm like,
after everything
Yeah.
that they had been through as a couple too, and like the shit that he had done, and like
Very true.
because another, I'm gonna save. I'll save that part.
And another thing.
I'm gonna save that. But like
fine.
even sitting in that room and having to hear it all again, like
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff that, you know, with Florence and them bringing all that up. And she still was like,
Even that scene too,
Listen.
where that was wild.
this is
Yeah.
I was not
mine.
expecting that.
I know,
And-
right?
I'm not shaking anybody's fucking hand.
Right,
That
yeah.
was mean to him.
I'm gonna piggyback off him then. Like my favorite character was Emily Blunt too. The scene in which they're interrogating her and she's like stumbling at first and then goes, no, and
Snaps right
so
into it.
the crazy thing about that scene is because that's on record, they have exactly what she said, and she says exactly what that lady said in real life in that scene.
I don't. Maybe I haven't seen all of her shit, but most of the stuff I've seen with her in it, she does a good job of going to that place.
Edge of
Whatever that
Tomorrow.
fucking place. Edge of Tomorrow's so fucking good.
John
Live,
Krasinski.
die, repeat.
Yeah. He's on your list, I guess.
He's on my
fucking
list.
good.
He's on my list.
She's like Cruz
Forgot
walks in there
for a second.
and she's just doing that weird fucking push up where her feet are on there. Looks at it and it fucking ends. I'm like, oh, this fucking movie's so good.
Heavy
Yeah, but
metal
you get
bitch.
to, but you get to see that
It's
a couple
so
times.
good.
You get to see that part a couple times.
It's
though,
so
because
good. I'd watch that part a lot of times.
See, I like
So
Tom Cruise in that movie because he's not playing Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise's best roles are the ones where he's not cast as the fucking hero.
Right.
I like that movie too.
Yeah.
Until the end.
My two favorite roles are Tropic Thunder and Collateral. One, he plays that fucking
Yeah. Two villains, really.
Yeah.
In the
essentially.
suit, his hands are like this big.
Yeah.
This is Flaming Dragon.
Yeah, he was on the phone with
We do
Ben
not
Stiller.
negotiate
Did he
with
ever tell you that?
terrorists.
He was on the phone with Ben Stiller. He's like, you know what would be really funny if I had big fucking hands.
Oh, it was his
Yeah,
idea.
that was
And
his
what-
Oh,
idea.
that's right. I didn't. I
Big
wasn't on the
fucking
Tropic
hands.
Thunder.
And
one
what do
when
you
guys did it.
say to that if you're Ben? Yeah.
It's Tom fucking
Yeah,
Cruise.
yeah, like whatever you want, guy.
Yeah.
You want to be in this movie? Whatever you want. Who was your favorite character?
I think you all made really great choices,
Oh, thank
and
you.
it's very difficult. But I'm such a huge Cillian Murphy fan, and I think that he did
He's
such.
the obvious one in the room, and I try not to go for it.
Yeah.
That's we. Yeah.
I don't mind taking the obvious.
Did you do
I'll
one.
take it.
Did you Peaky Blinders
Did it?
before you get going?
Peaky
No,
Blinders.
I haven't watched Peaky
Anyways,
should watch
I don't
it.
want to interrupt. I
But-
don't interrupt. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think that he just has this presence about him. Everything he does is like 100%.
It's great.
I think he committed himself to the role, and he just looks intense. Like every little movement, every little twitch, it was just spot on. And when I can watch an actor, much like RDJ,
Sure.
and forget that I'm watching
That
an
he's
actor,
RDJ. Like yeah.
I forget Cillian Murphy's Cillian Murphy. I think
That's how I
I'm
judge a
watching.
good movie.
That's so that's why I go with him. Although those would be easy,
Yeah, yeah.
almost ties. But I'm gonna go with Cillian Murphy. I think
You know,
He's a
just
sculpted face,
Yeah.
by the way. It's very
his
distinguished.
angular.
his like jaw.
He's an
line
Irishman
is-
with a very
Yeah, yeah.
Very
angular.
distinguished.
Even his voice in this movie is not his voice, right? Like that's not how he talks.
Yeah, yeah,
No, he
And
changes.
it's so well done that you wouldn't even know it. You know what I mean? And just the way he walks, even in this movie, like,
A nerd.
well, like not only that, but like
He walks like a nerd.
once he puts that hat on and that pipe, you're like, let's fucking go. Let's make a
Yeah.
bomb. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this.
Let's make a bomb,
Yeah.
guys.
Let's fucking kill a bunch of no. Like it was. I don't know. His performance is amazing, but also like not so much in your face that you're going, well, yeah, he's overacting or overreaching. It's just like you said,
No,
like
he
he's
played
just,
it. He played it just right.
He is that character, right?
Yeah.
So this could be a defining moment of his career almost.
Dude,
Absolutely.
he's already huge. He's a big guy.
He's a big one now.
I was on a side note about him acting this
Mm-hmm.
so well. I was into this shit long ago, like the actual bomb
Mhm.
making of this.
The like
The
actual
science
story. Yeah.
portion
The
of this,
science
and
behind
if
it.
there's anyone out there that's listening and you want to watch something that's fucking crazy cool, it's called The Demon Core. It's
Ooh.
also an audiobook, but it's about the guys that are working on the bomb
The Demon Core.
in
I
the
like that.
infancy stage, where they're like placing the tungsten blocks, and they're trying to reach critical mass. That's what the first portion of the movie is about,
Yeah.
right? But it happens on accident a couple different times where people die.
Oh,
Like there's a security guard 2 hallways away, and they almost reach critical mass. The dude that was right next to it that dropped one of the bricks died the following day. The other dude that was like 12 meters away died like 3 months later, and the security guard died.
it's wild. To
Way
think
after
about.
that, yeah.
Like
They said they saw blue lights when they dropped the core, and it almost went critical. It looked like the Northern Lights. That's what it was in the testimony, or whatever it is.
And
It's
who
just
even- Check that
fucking
out.
wild.
well, also like who even knows if that's what they're perceiving? It just might be what their
Yeah.
eyes are fucking.
yeah, this is just what they told people after the fact. But
It's crazy.
they had pictures like autopsies,
Yeah.
and where he had dropped to try and catch it, which is probably the only reason they didn't fucking die. It landed here, and the radiation the following day ate his whole arm away.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy, man.
I I wanted to see that in the movie.
Anyways.
What?
Yeah,
But
I
also-
was kind of bummed. You see pictures of it,
Yeah.
like when they're placing the blocks and the uranium or whatever, the single ball of uranium.
Yeah.
You see that, but that's how they show it in the actual
I will say
documentary.
this movie was not what I thought it was going to be.
just blowing shit up.
Well, no, not that, but like everything that it showed, and obviously a trailer needs to hook you or bring people in that maybe not going to want to sit through a bunch of talking because
Also, you can only show
show
much in a trailer for a 3-hour movie.
Very true.
So-
But like the movie is just literally them talking and being interrogated the whole time while recounting how they made the bomb and everything. I just thought there was going to be more bomb stuff in it or more, how would I say, showing of the bomb. They don't even show it go off.
It's a
you know what I
brilliant
mean?
storytelling, by the way.
Beyond the tests they do, right? So they make this bomb, they ship it out. That's it. I know that's the whole idea of the story is you're there to, be in the aftermath of him like dealing with this and then what goes on later.
Well, that's why it was called Oppenheimer and not Atomic Bomb.
I get
There
it.
you go.
But
That's a good point.
But I just thought maybe we would get a little more, I'm not mad at it, you know what I mean? But again, going in, I just thought there was going to be something else. I think the movie works better without it.
What an interesting fucking dude.
Right. Let's not drop it on Kyoto because me and my wife, we vacation there.
Wasn't that
let's-
crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Well, do you think he was
That
joking
whole
or being
conversation.
serious?
The whole conversation was wild.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But so real.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's freaky.
That's
about
the
it.
craziest part
Yeah.
about it.
Oh, yeah.
The celebration
Yeah. Oh,
in the
dude.
in the gym.
And that was
after they-
perfectly done.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. Anyways,
You're going to say something.
Are we done with the character? Did you say yours?
Yeah, I did. We're
Emily
done.
Blunt.
We're going to go to,
that's right.
We're going to do favorite part or scene unless you want to talk about something else. Or is that in what you're talking about?
No, you can do that first.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, favorite part or scene, Tara?
Oh. I kind of like the handshake. There's so many good things in this movie. The movie as a whole is a good movie, so I feel like to pit like a favorite is like
True, very true.
minute like
Yeah,
thing.
you're right.
the story where he's what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. I
Strauss.
said his name earlier, but that part where he's getting it in the end when he's getting shafted and his lawyer is explaining how he's getting shafted is the biggest payoff in the movie for me, and that part was glorious.
Yeah.
Because right before that, you kind of discover that he's an asshole. You kind of assume a little bit before that.
But you don't really know because the way
Yeah.
he's portraying things or talking about things, like
Yeah.
there's even the part in the beginning where they're like talking about, well, how did all this come about with him losing his clearance and everything? He's like, oh, well, this guy in the FBI found this file. Well, where did he get
How
the
did
file?
they get it? Yeah.
Well, some guy that just didn't like him probably gave it to him.
Mhm.
What the fuck? I gave it to him, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's wild.
And then he got his comeuppance. Kind
I
of.
do like that.
kind
But a little before, like when Rami Malek comes in
Mm-hmm.
and he starts going over, and you can kind of see like a shift in like his
Black
team,
and
or
white,
like
too.
like
Like,
Strauss. Like you can see
you
them
forget
kind of
it
be
is.
like, oh my god, like this is not what we thought was about to happen.
Right, right.
Like I like that. I like that it was like
That's probably my favorite
this
scene.
whole
Yeah, and bring it
shift.
back to what you said. The whole idea of doing black and white, not in the past, but in the present, or
Yeah.
like the what's going on now.
Current storytelling present. Yeah.
That's such a wild idea, and it works.
It felt like you were telling a story. I feel like that was the risk they took with doing that. Telling a story in black and white.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was dope. Whatever it was fucking dope.
it worked.
I wrote about that in my review.
Did
How
you?
that because classically black and white means, oh, we're in the past.
Yeah.
But to role reverse that,
Right.
I thought it was genius. It was Christopher Nolan, once
Mhm.
again, just flipping something on its head. And it worked
Yeah.
great. And it helped you not get lost in where are we?
It gave you, I
Right.
think it's like that noir. Was it? I don't know how to enunciate that word.
Noir.
Yeah, but that idea of him telling a story like he's a fucking detective. That's the vibe I got from that part. So he's like reliving it because I mean they're going through that Jimmy Rig jury discussion, and then he's trying to explain it, and I think it comes right after that, and it fell perfectly on top of it. It was fucking dope.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but now that makes me
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh, okay.
The
I like
music
that.
too, while
Oh,
he's
yep,
doing,
yep.
while he's talking about that. Yeah.
There's a fun fact I didn't write down, but the music in this movie has no drums in it on purpose because he felt like if you are watching Oppenheimer, you're thinking it's going to be like big bass and big booming shit because it's about bombs. So he's like, no drums, all
was-
just strings.
Yeah, very symphonic.
Right.
Yeah.
It was good. Did you have any favorite parts or scenes?
One of the parts that I just thought was really stunning was
Florence Pugh.
A beautiful lady.
least favorite part of the
Joking.
movie
No,
was
joking.
she should have.
She's new. I gotta say it.
It's fine. When I think it's when the bomb is going off, but it's completely silent. So I just
Spectacular.
I just was just like, I don't know, but I was just, it was so stunning that I was just like holding my breath. It was weird, but I
They
was just
make you do that with the music that's right before
yeah.
it.
It's a huge
you
build-up.
expect this
Anticipation at
horrible
a
boom,
fucking,
and then it's just dead silent, and just to see his face, and
it's fucking dope.
I just think
Yeah.
that to me is what filmmaking is all about.
Yeah, that
It's
rumble seat.
cinematography is all about,
Oh my
and
gosh.
sound coming in.
Well, when you can do something that you're not expecting in a movie that you're expecting things to happen, like, I don't know, blowing up a bomb and we're going to see it, and then you do something at that point that you go, what the, oh my God, like, this is amazing. How do you do that? You know, how do
Like
you,
that?
right, well, yeah, I get it, but I'm saying, like,
Call
as a
Christopher
filmmaker,
Nolan.
like, how do you just go, yeah, so you know the part that everyone's expecting? Guess what?
Silence.
Don't.
Completely silent.
Right. You sure you want to do, shut the fuck up.
They also
Silence.
didn't show what
Bomb,
we
really.
stare. Yeah, they showed everything else around the bomb and the inner workings, but they didn't really show too much of the actual.
No.
Like when we think of it, it's like mushroom clouds and some of the real footage and fake footage you see around. So seeing that was pretty cool. Just a white light, and the
Yeah.
fact they did it like in the early mornings was super fucking cool.
There was a Joe Rogan clip going around when this came out about how, like, oh, when they're doing the nuclear blasts and stuff like that, and they're showing all these things, they're like, but how did the camera survive? And everyone's like, oh my God, you're right. It's
Obviously,
fake.
it was made to survive.
And it's how far away?
Well, some of them were
What?
put in the middle. They were
Right.
viewing it,
Yeah,
so clearly they can view it from certain locations.
exactly. It's just another way of people being able to be tricked very easily by, well, look at this.
There are some ones that were manufactured after the fact,
Yeah.
but a lot of it's fucking real.
Yeah,
This
a
is
lot
like the
of
moon
footage
landing.
came like the. Are we talking about the real?
Yeah.
A lot of that came from planes that dropped them.
Exactly.
Right.
They're far enough away that
Exactly.
the
But
plane survived. So of course, I can't.
You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
my big.
I love a good conspiracy theory, but that happened.
Yeah.
You remember?
that happened.
You remember Godzilla
Yeah.
2000,
Mhm.
the hydrogen bomb?
Yeah.
That's how I envisioned this was going to happen, where they're all just sitting and it was like looked like old testimonial footage.
Yeah.
And they're all laying on the beach. This dude's face is all lubed up. I thought we were going to see the big explosion.
Right,
They didn't
and
give
then
it to
it-
me at all. But it's like
But
I don't
also,
know.
like, you're not let down by it.
not at all. Not
And
even a slight.
that's another genius of the movie is it's a movie about making a bomb that you don't, like I said, don't really see ever really explode.
Yeah, and,
But you're okay with it.
and there's so much tension all the time when the bombs are in the truck and they load both of them out and you see them going. Like, what the fuck? This is such a. That's a heavy scene. That's a fucking heavy.
This whole movie
scene.
is a heavy scene.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. Like, the minute this movie starts, it's just the pace is brisk.
Yeah.
But it's 3 hours long. There's no room to breathe in this.
Yeah.
I didn't like
good.
that.
I love it.
Well, I'm saying there's like, I want to, for the length of it, I wanted a little like, okay, let's digest. But nope.
It's good.
I liked it, and I think it had its purpose. Although I do something called screen it, stream it, or skip it.
Oh.
And for this movie, as much as I loved it, and I would encourage
Watching it.
watching it, I said stream it for the average audience
I
because
get
it's
it.
3 hours long. That's a commitment.
Did your guys' cheeks hurt?
Did
A little
my
little bit.
cheeks
Yeah, I
hurt?
asked the
From
important
sitting
questions.
for
Your butt
3
cheeks.
hours in the
Sitting-
theater.
No,
Yeah.
I was reclining. It was fine.
That would be a good thing to add.
But-
Did your cheeks hurt? Watching this movie.
Laughing,
Right.
sitting.
yeah, I'm like, which ones are we talking about?
Oh. There's the
but
t-shirt.
If you're like a film person or you're a big history buff,
Go see
somebody who's
it.
really interested in this type of film, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so much information that I think, especially with younger generations, it just would be lost on them. But so
I
I
don't think
think
any young kids will go see this.
no, but
No.
I think if you
My son
can
would be like,
pause it
"What
at
the f-"
home and take a bathroom break or
Right,
whatever,
right.
there's nothing's gonna be
When the bomb goes.
But
Well, no, you know what? That's funny. In my showing, it was like people 30 and above. There was no young people there.
It goes silent.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you just hear
Yeah,
everybody.
sorry,
in
we
there.
don't
Yeah,
need to keep talking about that.
fine, that's fine. Okay, any what the fuck moments for you guys in this movie? Was there anything where you're just like, what the fuck?
Tara, go! This is your thing, right? You've been holding back?
I don't have.
Ah!
The suspense is killing me, dog.
One of my least favorite parts, so I'll call it my what the fuck moment, is the guy putting on the sunscreen because he didn't rub it in, and it drove me nuts the entire time.
He wanted to just have a thick
I didn't
layer.
care. It
Thick
drove
layer.
me
Thick
nuts
Vaseline is
that
probably
he
what it was.
didn't
Look.
rub it in.
Hold on.
I don't think it's sunscreen.
As someone who's
Yeah,
had to soak in sunscreen since they were born,
I think it's different.
when I leave my house, it drives me nuts when it is not. When it
Also,
just sits on the
if-
skin.
hold
She's
on,
at a
if-
beach in a chair and it's just like,
But also, it's a bomb, right? So it's either you're going to die or the sunscreen's going to help.
yeah, dude, put a windshield
It is,
between
very-
him
it
and
is, yeah. They were funny how they were like taking the very minor like
Yeah.
precautions, like getting behind a
There's a chance the
windshield, which
atmosphere could catch on
okay,
fire.
let's
Dude,
put a windshield
that's
in
why-
front of you, but
This
that
could-
windshield, if it gets there,
Well, he said,
Windshield's
no,
gonna
he
get
was saying he was sitting in it for the UV rays. Like, I'll block the UV.
well, and then, but then dude
Yeah.
sits in a
Yeah.
lawn chair and
Right.
just
Fuck it.
sunscreen.
Also, what you just said, the whole thought of if we do this, it could ignite the atmosphere
And they were like,
blow up the
roll
world.
the dice.
How
man.
about a zero chance?
Yeah, like just thinking about that is wild.
Well, I like when he says later when he says that there was, and he's like, what? And he's like, well, it was, and he goes,
almost zero.
but
Almost.
not. And he was like,
Yeah.
I like how
Yeah,
they put
yeah.
Drake and Josh on the button.
Yeah, right.
Like, he
Dude,
was-
you know what?
He's
You know what?
sweating, man.
I was okay with that. I was like, get out there, Drake. Do you?
Go
Wait, no,
ahead.
that was Josh.
Josh,
Get out there,
go ahead,
Josh. Get out there.
Yeah,
do your
because his
thing.
real name is Josh.
Yeah. Josh Peck.
Josh Peck.
Yeah. Any what the fuck moments for you? Any part where you're like,
Oh, dude, that fucking sex scene. If we're talking like a what the fuck thing, that made me uncomfortable as shit.
yeah.
We start reading a book. I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's the where mine was.
is this real? Was this written down somewhere?
you
You
never
take
know.
some
Yeah.
artistic liberties.
Maybe he had a diary.
Maybe.
Yeah.
This one time.
Dear
Well,
diary.
Well, I think what they did is that her job was to create that nexus event
she
for
was
him
sitting in a
and that
chair.
turn. But
Yeah.
but still, that scene was a little much. That was much. For
My
me.
what the fuck is sort of like that, but it's the other sex scene where they're
kicking
just
you, I'm
sitting in
sorry.
the chairs, and the way he's sitting in that chair naked is funny, but I get it. But also, like, I was like, what the fuck? What is this?
It's real.
Yeah, like, but I was like, all right, okay, taking me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you have a what the fuck?
I'm gonna have to agree with you. Yeah, I just thought that the sex scene was just unnecessary and jarring, if you will.
I think you could have portrayed a little of their lust for each other in a different
Yeah, I think
way.
you could have done it. It just didn't. It was gratuitous, in my opinion. Like there's a time and a place in movies for that, where it's truly reflecting something important, and I don't think that was necessary. I'm not against nudity or anything like that, or sex in film, but when it makes sense.
Yeah, that
And-
kind of just comes out of nowhere.
and
Yeah.
it does. You're kind of like, oh, okay, that's happening. And also, I just wasn't. It was Florence
Yeah,
Pugh, and I was just like,
nah. Anybody else?
get out of here, you commie.
Right. But if that was Ryan Reynolds, he'd be like, "Oh, keep going. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It came
I
out of
had
nowhere,
no
but
i-
that's all right.
I had
It's
no
gratuitous
idea
for the plot."
that was the underlying theme for this movie, the political portion of it. I didn't know that's what it was going to be. So
Well,
they
and
spent a lot of time on that too. And I
So
was
this
like,
is where I
oh.
said if you
But
go
I
back
always
and
knew he was always leaning towards that. That's what the whole thing was about.
right,
The reason he probably isn't, I don't know, loved, minus creating the world's most destructive thing ever.
most biggest. Well, that's what I was saying is
fattest.
if you go back and
Most
watch it again,
prettiest.
it's different because now you see all those commie things or why those
Oh,
that
yeah, is that
matters.
what we're called?
Those commie things. But also though, like they even say in the movie, like the Communist Party in America was not the same as what happened when Russia and all this stuff. Like it was
Yeah.
a whole different ideology about unionization and stuff like that. So when that all happened, it was like, well, the commies, like, you know,
Yeah.
we can't have them. So him trying to be with that or trying to do that stuff is not exactly what it was portrayed in the media, right? So not to say that, commies, let's go.
I think
but
they did him justice with this movie. I feel a little bit better about him. I mean, I've read a little bit about it, and most of the stuff's been so dark and dry that it's not. You always just kind of thought him as a dude that invented the bomb and manipulated people. That's what I got from the few things that I read about before this movie came out. And this, I was like, okay, well, feels a little bit more of a human now.
Feels a little more human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of humanizing, hold on. What's this? The fun facts of the fucking week. I made it more explodey for this
I
week
see this.
Ooh.
because
Explodey.
explodey. Is that a
Most
word?
explodious.
Yeah. In order for the black and white sections of the movie to be shot in the same quality as the rest of the film, Kodak developed the first ever black and white film stock for IMAX.
Oh.
Just for this movie.
Good
Is
job, Kodak.
interesting.
It's wild. Like, hey,
Yes.
I want to shoot in black and white. Well, we don't have it. Okay, make it.
Yeah.
That's probably what's his face.
Christopher Nolan,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He's like,
yeah.
yo, dude, I need this shit.
You
Make
know
it
he
happen.
knows people at Kodak.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, when
did
he
you a
calls,
favor.
when do you probably fucking answer?
Yeah.
No matter who you are.
Who's this 1-800 number? I ain't picking it up. Shit. When in the bunker, Oppenheimer says that they'll know if the bomb is successful in 1 hour and 58 minutes. The bomb goes off in the movie at exactly 1 hour and 58 minutes.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
I like
Nice.
that one. That was kind of cool.
that is cool.
Matt Damon was on a break from acting as a promise to his wife with one condition: if he would take off the hold if Christopher Nolan called.
And of course,
And as luck would have it, Christopher Nolan called.
if that's not planned out, I don't know what will.
I know, right? Don't worry, baby. You know, I'm not gonna act unless Christopher Nolan calls.
Yo, hook
Do you
brother up.
have a
Right.
role for me?
Right, exactly. I might.
Someone told him. Someone was like, "Oh yeah, no, Damon's not
Yeah, yeah.
acting." He said he'd only, and it like trickled through like the
Right.
grapevine, and he was like, "Watch."
Got him. His wife's gonna hate me. The entire reel of IMAX film stock used for the production is 11 miles long and weighs 600 pounds.
Damn.
Damn. So I watched actually a YouTube
That's some
video
poundage.
on how they shipped this out,
Sorry.
and they shipped it out in different rolls in which at each
It's funny, right? I didn't even laugh.
I don't think I heard you.
He said it'd be 600 pounds, and I said that's some poundage because fucking the skulls used terminology earlier.
the poundage.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyways, they shipped it out in smaller reels in which at each IMAX location they had an actual guy there that would have to splice it together to then put on a giant reel that was 600 fucking pounds and 11 miles long.
Fuck yeah.
That's wild.
So that movie, one of those showings
Mhm.
with the original reel took place in San Antonio while I was there,
Oh,
and I didn't go
should have.
against my own well, but they had all the actual film roll there for that.
So what's also crazy is if you go to any other IMAX like theater, they're going to have old stock movies there, and most of them are all Christopher Nolan movies
dope.
because, you know, Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight. I don't think Batman Begins was shot on IMAX, but Tenet, Dunkirk, all those movies are all IMAX.
Dunkirk's great.
And what are you going to do with them when, you know, they're out of theater? Just keep them.
Yep.
And we're going to have a showing here and there, whenever.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
personally, and this is just
No,
a
you're good.
film background because I was trained in actual film.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, we did digital as well, but I graduated. I won't age myself. Doesn't matter when I graduated college.
We
I
don't
didn't
judge.
go, so it's
But
okay.
so you had to learn all these intricate details of how to handle film and develop it, and you know what these people go through, the crew goes through, to have to like switch out rolls of film in a blacked out thing that they can't see. You have to feel your way.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
You ever Fight Club something where you spliced in like an image?
No, I haven't. I
Do you know
had a
people that
few-
have?
Yeah.
Yeah, like in a public theater.
Just put a
I
wang
mean,
for one fucking.
I asked a good question.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, I was one of two girls in my graduating class of about maybe 60 to 80
Oh
people.
wow. Okay.
So I was one of the few females. So I had a bunch of
Dudes
dudes
running around.
So
Dudes
Yeah.
running around
They
doing
put
crazy
wangs in
shit.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, they would do all sorts of stuff.
yes.
I was just
That's what I would do if I was there.
You know that movie that came out 6 years ago? My wang's in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One
Just
frame.
one frame.
Shlomo at this exact
Yeah.
this exact time.
1 minute 58 minutes when the bomb goes off.
It would be just
way.
it'd be just like a fuck you with your name on it, Steve. You'd be like, oh,
Just
fuck.
sign it.
or I get up with one of these.
Oh my god. And somebody
it's
says like,
years
did
later.
you see that? See what? God damn, he got me.
Got me again.
The casting of Josh Hartnett marks an interesting full circle moment, as Hartnett was one of the 3 finalists to play Batman in Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins. But he respectfully declined the role, later going on to say he regretted the decision as he's a huge admirer of Nolan's work as a filmmaker and wished to build a creative relationship with him.
Yeah, what a bad bail that fucking was.
Also,
Fail.
go for it. I know what you're going to say.
All right.
I was so excited to see Josh Hartnett on screen.
I was
Me
too. Yeah.
too,
I
because
was
where
like,
has he been?
Yeah.
Where have you been, sir?
Mhm.
And, he is able to take time off. He did a bunch of movies back when we were
What's the last
probably
big
teenagers.
movie you remember him in?
Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, maybe that. I
28
remember
days
the
later.
faculty.
29 days? Was
that
that
was
him?
Cillian
28.
Murphy.
That was Cillian Murphy.
No.
No. I'm thinking of a different one. Days
40
and Night.
days- 40
and
Days,
Night.
days and night. 40 days and night.
40 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
40. Yeah.
I
There was also
remember
a-
the
Thank you, Jeff.
faculty and then
Faculty's
Black,
awesome.
yeah, and Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
But I just
And then Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Pearl
those are
Harbor.
earlier
Oh
ones, right?
yeah, played Dave.
Wait a
Kate
second.
Beckinsale.
Hold on. Pearl Harbor? Oppenheimer? Isn't that kind of connected?
He probably
Well,
wasn't doing
World
both
War
at the
II.
same time.
This was the prequel.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, what was the movie where they're in Alaska and it's like...
That was what her and I were just talking
Oh, no,
about.
Yeah,
that's not what I was talking
No, we're talking about the
Oh,
movie...
the horror movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
40 Days a Night had him in
40,
it.
40 Days a Night
With
is the...
vampires?
No.
No.
That's the one where he can't jerk off or have sex for 40 days and 40 nights for Lent.
That's
Which
40
one
days
am
and
I
40 nights.
thinking of then?
You're thinking because they're like vampire things or
Yeah, it's
whatever.
kinda creepy.
Something
That's
day-
20. That's
day and
that.
night.
You're right. That is 28 something.
It's a number.
It's-
a number
it's
of
definitely
days.
a number.
Days Later is a zombie movie
With
with
Cillian
Cillian
Murphy.
Murphy.
Yeah,
they
it's
did
not. It's
28
not
weeks
28 days
after
later.
that, right?
It's.
That's the sequel to that, and the sequel's not as good, minus the chopper scene.
28
which-
months later.
Something like that. Yeah.
I know exactly
Whatever.
what you're talking about because it's also
But he
that
did it-
movie where like the clip went around for a while and I don't even think he actually says it in the movie, but it's one of the vampire guys and like the girl is like out in the snow and the vampire things. I don't know what they actually
Yeah, but it's
are like
something-
surrounding
I
him
thought it
and
was Days
she's
of
like,
Night,
"Oh
but
God,
I
please!"
could
And
be wrong.
the vampire goes, "God."
30 Days of Night.
30
God.
days of night. Yeah, I was like number of something.
And that's not even.
That
I don't even think it's in the movie.
movie
And it was like in the
isn't
trailer.
great,
It's huge.
but it's
But it's good.
interesting.
It's
It's
good.
as close to like a real Blade as I've
love
gotten
Blade.
in a while. So-
30 Days of Night. Too.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
Okay.
good. It's not bad.
Also, we
It's
haven't
not
even
bad.
talked about
It's not
Lucky,
amazing, but-
Lucky Number 11. Like, that movie is great.
That's.
Oh yeah.
I like that movie.
really good. Yeah. It's good enough for a
This
Josh
guy was a
Hartnett.
heartthrob, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
he like a
Oh,
big
yeah, yeah.
heartthrob?
Oh yeah,
that
back
was-
in the day, he probably
yeah.
would have been on my
Yeah.
list.
Yeah,
Back
I thought he was a cutie pie.
The weird thing is, talking about how he hasn't been in anything in a while, I was watching the new season of Black Mirror, and he's in one of the
Yep.
episodes with Aaron Paul, and I was like, where has he been? And then I go see Oppenheimer, I'm like, what the fuck? He's back.
Yep.
So I'm waiting.
Josh Hartnett's
Right.
or Hart, whatever. He's making a comeback.
My heart. I'm here for
does
it.
I heard something completely different.
Whatever you heard, yes.
I'm keeping it to myself.
Yes. That's what it is.
Well, maybe he's like diving back in. Maybe he had kids, got married,
I
tried to
mean-
do that, and then was like,
What's the Honey I Shrunk the Children guy? What's his name? The one his wife had cancer and he stopped acting.
Oh, fucking
Ghostbusters. Steve, this is you.
I know.
need you right now.
Bob and
That's-
Doug
you
McKenzie.
love that guy. You
Fucking-
talked
Rick
about
Moranis.
him multiple
Rick
times.
Moranis.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, good lord.
We got to get him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
He's too old, but I'm ready for it.
How old is he now? He's gonna be like
60s, yeah, 70s. By the way, Harrison Ford is 81. I looked that up earlier.
Wild.
Oh yeah, he's old.
Oof.
Wild.
Woof. Last fun fact. On December 16th, 2022, J. Robert Oppenheimer's security clearance was posthumously reinstated by the U.S. Department of Energy almost 70 years after it was first revoked by its predecessor,
Energy.
the Atomic Energy Commission. Speaking to the New York Times, Kay Bird, co-author of the book American Prometheus, which this is based on, let me read, because this doesn't matter, reflected on the AEC's famously flawed security hearing, the push from the scientific community to restore Oppenheimer's clearance, and the Energy Department's decision saying, "I'm overwhelmed with emotion. History matters, and what was done to Oppenheimer in 1954 was a travesty, a black mark on the honor of the nation. Students of the American history will now be able to read the last chapter and see that what was done to Oppenheimer in that kangaroo court proceeding was not the last word."
Yes.
So he's got his security clearance back.
Kangaroo court.
But
That's a song too, by the way. if
But
you
he
wanna listen to it.
is not alive.
No, he's dead.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So that's why they said post.
yeah.
Humorously or whatever.
So,
yeah.
It was
my
just
point is
a-
just like I guess it's honorary, but like he's not looking up any. He's
No.
not gonna find out. About
Well, no, I think it's more of like, hey, look, we fucked up, and
this is our way of fixing.
this is our way of saying that now if you're looking at this, we say that
It was,
sorry.
yeah, well,
If I were his kid, I'd
Undeserving
be
now.
like, why don't you just bequeath that to me?
I take it. I
Can
want
I
to know
have
the,
it?
I want to know the secrets.
Yeah.
Like, let me know. Are there aliens?
Are they? They are.
Right. Show me.
Sure,
them.
but
I
I
got the
want to know
clearance.
more
Right.
about it. Yeah.
I got the clearance. All right. Final decision time. Out of 10 and why? We're gonna go to Tara first because she's got stuff to say. Apparently.
I have stuff to say.
Let's hear it.
get it out.
I'm going to.
The suspense is killing me.
I'm going
Get
to.
it out.
One of the first things I want to say, and I don't know if anybody else felt this way, because I don't think I've ever watched a movie that did this. Like, I don't think I've seen a movie that
Anxiety.
did this.
No.
No.
Shit.
There was the same, and I wanted to say this earlier when you brought up the drum thing of
Okay.
the music. There was the same level of like the background music, like the entire movie, except for like the quiet, the silence part, to where for at least a half hour in the movie, I thought we were building up to get the story starting because the music sounded like
You know what?
you
You're
were
right.
building up the entire time.
And that's probably why I felt like it was a breakneck speed, and I'm on the edge of my seat
That's
watching.
what I'm saying. The
Yeah.
movie felt like it was just like,
a
and
big build up.
it wasn't, the music wasn't like in your face,
But
but
it-
while I was watching it, it had that quick, like, we're figuring things out, like the entire movie.
I was
in the
fired up
background.
watching the movie.
I
So
thought,
it
Like I was
felt
like ready to go.
It felt like, it wasn't until, like I said, like a chunk into the movie, I was like, oh, this is just going to be the way that it is the whole time, because it felt like it was building to something, and it felt like it was just going to be like an intro, and then we were going to like drop in somewhere in the story, but no, it just did it the whole time.
in terms of phrasing, it went silent for parts that it really should be silent for, and the other parts that were even like a little bit lully, it was loud as fuck.
Yeah.
Like the suspenseful parts where he's moving between scenes, where like the sex scene's completely fucking quiet.
Which makes it even weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like you can cut the tension with a fucking
Mm-hmm.
with a knife.
With a
but,
knife.
But yeah, the phrase I call it phrasing. I don't know what the correct term for it is, but the phrasing of the score is fucking amazing. Like when it needs to be quiet, when you need to feel a specific way, he's like, you're gonna be stuck with your thoughts.
Right. And that's genius.
basically
Yeah,
what
it's
it is.
genius.
Yeah.
And it will haunt you.
Yeah. Any like quality decision that the viewer has to make, if there's no fucking music in it,
I-
you're just fucking stuck. And you're like, oh shit.
I mean, obviously, like just based on like the topic of the movie and the things that happen in the movie, you're energized for, like you're in it the whole time. But I really feel like that affected it, like without you realizing it, the way that the music was and stuff the whole time, and the way they jumped like around in scenes.
Sure.
It felt like it was at least through
Exactly.
half the movie.
Oh yeah.
At least for the first half of the movie, it was very like with the music, it felt like you were building to something, but no, it was just
What it
was
is.
just a movie.
Yeah.
I also feel like the first half of the movie and the second half of the movie felt like different moods.
They
On
both
purpose.
They both,
yeah, yeah.
They both had a cadence, because the first half is to the bomb, the second half's to the trial, right? So it's like you hear the music do this until it reaches that fucking climax and the dump on both parts of the movie. I don't know how to explain it both, but it feels like this movie could be two movies, even though
Oh
it's
yeah.
not,
Well, and I remember looking at my watch, like when the bomb went off, and I was just like, "Fuck, we still got another hour. What are they gonna do?" Like,
It's a lot. The courtroom noir stuff. That music is pounding.
Oh,
during
yeah,
that part
yeah.
when they're figuring out, they're finally going to give you who the asshole was, right? And what's going to happen.
well,
to
and
him.
you don't even think that that's what's going on either. Like the way Robert Downey Jr. is acting, you're not sitting there going, "Well, there's a mole or there's a guy that's behind this, orchestrating this whole thing." It's
you're
just
guessing. You're trying to. I spent my time
Yeah.
guessing.
Oh yeah. And I was like, "What are they trying to show me?" Right. But it wasn't so much in your face. Just like my favorite movie by. Say it for me. We already talked about it. The Magician movie.
Or The Prestige.
Thank you. It always eludes me. Just like that movie, like you don't know that they're trying to show you a magic trick and how it's done through the whole movie. Just like they're trying to show you it's Robert Downey Jr. this entire time.
Now that you say that, I kind of want to go back and watch that because I think the music was similar in that.
Probably.
I just feel like I'm not remembering it that way because it wasn't as long of a movie, but
It's still pretty good.
I
It's up
feel
there.
like the music was similar to that, where there wasn't a lot of lulls. It felt like
it was a
like
breakneck speed movie too,
even when what was happening on the screen wasn't energetic, what was happening in the background was like they were still giving you like the chaoticness.
Dude, my
just
butt was numb from that
in the
seat
background.
vibrating.
You know, the whole time. I went and saw, I can't remember what before that, and there wasn't that many people in the theater with those butt kickers going. So all the seats are just rattling. So it made it even extra. Yeah. So, what are you giving this out of 10?
I'm not done.
Oh, Jesus.
Also, Carrick was more like Wally with this. Like he knew like the ins and outs of like of Oppenheimer and his life and like that story. So he asked me when we left there. He was like, "What did you think?" Because while he loved it, he had a different expectation for what he was going to see.
I didn't know what it was necessarily going to be about.
Right.
Yeah, he was like, I thought
Surprisingly
it was going to touch more on his personal life than the
trial.
the government trial
Okay,
stuff.
okay.
He said, I thought we were going to see both. I thought we were going to dive more into him.
Sure.
And I was like, I liked it. I said, because he wanted to know from someone who didn't like, who
know.
knew
Yeah,
the
yeah,
story, but didn't know like as much of the ins and outs. And I said, I liked it because I liked that they kind of split what they focused on. Like, I think if it was just like a biopic, like a specific, a more like normal biopic, it wouldn't, I don't think it would have given you the same like
No, I think you're
feelings
right. Yeah,
watching
you're
it.
right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's
I
a
feel
little
like they
bit of
had to
everything
do
in this
all of
movie.
the other stuff. But after I said that, he pointed out to me, which I did not know because I have not done the research on him as a person, apparently was way more of a womanizer than they let on in the movie.
Well, and I think you don't want
Like,
to
had a
distract
lot of
from the movie
affairs.
too,
Not just
not to take him out.
They touched
from
on
the-
it once, and that was the blonde lady, and then obviously he marries the second girl.
Yeah, I think they
So-
touched on it a little bit more too because he's still doing stuff with
Yeah.
Florence Pugh.
well from
And yeah.
at least from what he said, apparently there were multiple women, not just like multiple times with Florence, but like there
Sure, yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
throughout like
Yeah.
his
That stuff has never been.
marriage life or whatever. Like,
When I've read about him or done any of it, it's more the science factor. So a lot of these things about his personal life, I didn't really even know, like his wives, the whole commie.
Right, yeah. I mean,
the whole,
yeah.
The whole commie thing. I didn't know much about that. I just know that he was kind of a leader of physicists. That's what it was, and how they created the bomb and all the turmoil with the fucking science.
Right,
of it.
yeah.
Because it was crazy. And then
wild.
the brief, there's a couple excerpts of him like afterwards, like all the craziness that happened within the first like 7 months of the bombs being dropped.
Yeah.
But that's the only stuff I ever really read about him.
but that's after he told me that, I've had that in the back of my mind. So even earlier when we were talking about how Emily Blunt was at the end of the movie, like I didn't want to bring it up then, but like knowing that in real, you know, his life, that he had done even more than what we saw in the movie, and she was still there
He was a rock star.
at the end. You know what I
100%
mean?
a rock star.
Like
Yeah,
it
good for
wasn't
her,
from
but also,
at
like,
least from
kinda
what he
shitty.
said he's read in the past about his life is it wasn't just the Florence time that they
Yeah.
brought up in the interview, but it had been
Multiple.
yeah.
So, a score out of 10?
Nine.
Like, I don't know.
I'm gonna give
Wall's
it
going
a
to
nine.
9.
I had another thing that I was gonna say,
well, then
and
say it.
but I don't. Oh, when she drowns in the tub,
Yeah.
anyone else catch there was a hand on the back of her head?
Well, so it shows it
Yeah.
and then it doesn't
And then it
show
doesn't.
So I
Yeah.
feel like it's that I'm showing
You
you,
believe
this.
what you want.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, because
So-
we talked about that after we left too, and I didn't know this, but apparently from what Carrick said, there was conspiracy around her death that
Sure.
she was killed.
going off of the movie, she was killed.
Mm.
Going off of real life, who knows?
But I like that they did
was,
it like that.
It was heavily
too.
implied in the movie that she was She was killed, murdered.
But when they showed, like you said, they showed that it was so brief and it wasn't even a whole hand. It was just like you could see fingers.
The fingies.
And then the first time or next time
Right.
it was just
Jazz
her
hands.
head. You didn't see
Jazz
anything
hands.
on.
I killed him with
anybody on
what?
that
My
group.
jazz hands.
That whole scene where he sits down initially to figure out about maybe was it the leak? He's talking to the other guy.
The lawyer dude, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's and then they explain who he was as an individual, like who the people that he hated and the people that he hunted, and then right afterwards you see that. That's the scene that happens shortly afterwards.
Okay. Yeah,
so I think it implies that he did it or someone he knew did it.
Okay. So while
That's
he's
what I
already
got
said
from-
he's giving it a 9.
This is a fucking amazing movie. The fact that you can talk about it for this long, you pick out so many different parts,
I would probably give it 8.5.
and it's just it's checks all the boxes for the most part. What it tries to do, it does very well everywhere across the board.
For sure. Do you want to go or do you want me to go and you can finish?
You
Since
go
you're the
first.
guest.
I'll
Okay.
finish.
No problem. So I'm going to read what I wrote. You ready?
Spit it out.
He always comes in with a whole.
I know.
whole
I had to think
review.
about this one for a while after I left the cinema on if I actually liked the movie or if it was just so much
that
to take
Canadian
in
thing?
at once, I couldn't assemble the thoughts. But after digesting it, and you have to because of the length of this and the brisk pace of the movie, this is nothing short of a mastery in filmmaking and acting. No part of this movie leaves you with any doubt that what you're watching is a masterpiece. 9 out of 10.
Is that your highest?
I gave a
No.
9.5 to Scott Pilgrim, but don't compare the two.
Honestly, the
You remember
fact
we have
that
two
you even
methods.
said that as we're talking about this movie is a little disappointing.
This brings it right back to
That
where
you gave
my
that movie.
my thought. There's movies that hit you personally.
Yep,
and
it's
they're,
true.
in your childhood.
Yeah.
That just permanently resonate with
Scott,
you the rest
hold
of
on.
your life.
I have to say this because if anybody's listening to this and be like, really, Scott Pilgrim? Scott Pilgrim gets a 1.5 point boost because me and my wife love that movie and quote it to each other constantly. So we have a connection for that movie, so it gets more of a
It's only a half
it
point.
was already great, but it got
Nine and a half.
Well,
Right.
well, I would be an 8.
Oh,
if it
you're saying
wasn't.
you would have given it an 8
Right.
had you not had
Correct.
the connection. Gotcha.
Correct. So what do you got?
And that's the beauty of movies.
There you
It
go.
really
Perfect.
is.
Yep.
It really, really is. That's the point of film is to, obviously to entertain, but also to teach you something or give you a message or what's the real story behind the story. And that's why I love film so much and I'm passionate about it. So I get it. And it was a good movie.
Thank you.
It was.
It's a great movie. They're making a Netflix fucking show too, so
And
watch
Chris
it.
Evans was in it. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was.
can't go wrong. Yeah, I would absolutely agree and say this was a masterpiece for sure. The cinematography was stunning. It was gorgeous. I love how they did tie in Einstein because they could have easily left him out, but without him, it's usually it's a common mistake that people think that he created, like he's the father of the bomb.
Right.
But he couldn't get clearance because he was German.
He's German.
But without E=mc², this wouldn't have been possible. And they did correspond with him, and
You felt like a superhero in this movie.
Yeah, he was like the
mythical superhero.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and the guy looked.
he looked like him.
It looked
Yeah.
like him.
He did,
He
yeah.
talk like him. I
How
liked
we
it.
envision him.
Yeah,
The
like
pictures,
how
like,
just the crazy
Yeah,
hair.
I was gonna say that
cartoon
picture
iteration
that
of him.
everyone like you say his name and that's the picture you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that guy looked exactly like it.
Crazy scientist.
I also like the scene where he like meets him in the forest and he's talking to a German guy who could be something, right? And he just hands him that paper and he looks at it and he obviously knows already what it is. Like they don't even need to have the conversation.
Yep.
He's like, "Who wrote this? Right? Whose calculations
yeah.
are these?" Like, wild.
Yeah.
Want to be smart.
And I think the casting was perfection, especially pulling in really big time actors for maybe 30 seconds to a minute of the movie was just
Crazy when you think
it's
about it.
insane the cast that they pulled on this. They have some of the best actors of that generation, our generation, however you want to put it, in this movie, including Cillian.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Downey Jr. is definitely in the top 5 of,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, best actors of his generation. He's a little bit older.
Hurts me.
And then Christopher Nolan is just a genius. And I always know when I'm watching a Nolan movie. So overall, I was moved by it. I was really moved by it. I love history. I love World War II history.
Oh yeah. I like that.
I liked learning about the science. I liked getting little details about what went down with the Manhattan Project. It was just fascinating all
You're right.
around. And like there were moments where I was moved to tears.
Oh wow.
So it definitely hit on some stuff for me personally. So again, I couldn't say more about it. If you do love movies, go see it in the theater.
Sure.
If this isn't your thing, maybe stream it because you might be surprised.
It might be.
And you can always pause it.
Or you could watch it like a Netflix show and just watch it
Just binge it throughout.
I think it would almost be a disservice to not watch it in one sitting.
I didn't explain
because
how I
of
gave
the-
it a 9,
because
but
of-
yeah.
Okay, well, it
I'll
doesn't
do it in a
matter.
minute
It's
after
fine.
you're
Because
done.
of the
Yeah, yeah.
feeling that
Well, I think you
it gives
could do
you.
it, but it's only 2 parts. You could split it like right when they start, like maybe when right after the bomb goes off and the bomb they send him off, and then it goes to like the next part of his life with regards to the trial. Maybe you could split it there and then watch that the next day if you needed to, or just don't be a bitch and watch it in one sitting.
Just don't be bad.
Right.
I'm kind of on the same page. I would give this movie a 9.
Ooh.
Because it's rare that I would give a movie a 10. I think maybe one that I could remember in the last however many years that I would say was a 10 would be like The Revenant.
Okay.
So
all right.
something like that. It would just,
I was waiting for something to come out that I would be like, yes, Revenant was good, but for me, there's only 110. There's only 110.
It's Back to the Future.
Oh, well, you're going to get a different kind of.
The
My
mummy.
favorite movie of all time is Zoolander.
Look,
So
what's
we
up?
did,
I
and we
fucking
did that
love.
one.
I love
my
Zoolander.
God.
High five.
Yeah,
High
Steve
five.
is
It's
always.
classic.
love-
And I don't, and people are like, but you're film. And
That's
I'm like,
that same argument that I bring
take-
up all the time.
Where'd the
turn
files
off
go?
the sound.
It's amazing.
Look at the cinematography. Look at everything. Costume design. Everything. It's
I
great.
just quoted that
It's
movie this
hilarious.
past weekend, and the people I was with did not pick up on it.
You should hang
Merman.
out with them.
I was like, it was really funny to me, and I was like,
What was
got
the
the
quote?
black lung.
What was the quote?
so I don't remember, what I was referring to, but it was something small, and I was like, what is this, a school for ants?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And everybody was like,
What are you talking about?
no,
Needs
what?
to be at
I'd
least
be like,
3.5
I
times.
think
Sand.
somebody right next to me was like, yeah, it's kind of small, and I was like, yeah, it is.
You're small.
we can't.
you're
not-
small.
we too
small
can't not
person.
die in a gasoline fight accident.
A freak
Freak
gasoline fight accident with Alexander Skarsgård.
Yep.
I'm going to
So.
disagree with watching this movie in increments.
Yep.
Because this movie and the way it flows,
Okay.
it's a disservice to the movie. The cadence,
Word
the
I
movie,
used. Oh my god.
the movement and the cadence of this movie is spectacular. So it's
You
like
know what? You're right. Absolutely right. Don't listen to me. What do I know?
Yeah, well, and
True.
it does it in
See?
multiple ways. So it's like the first movie gives you, or the first section. I don't know. I'll call it Act
Sure.
1, Act 2, right?
Yeah.
So Act 1, it feeds you this information about him as a person, about what he's doing, and then it lets you kind of decide, almost like it's like a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
It's history
It
for
is.
one,
Yeah.
but the whole second act sets it up to where it's suspenseful, like you're trying to pick this apart. It's a beautiful thing, and
Right.
it's set up perfectly for that. And I don't know any other movie that does that. I've seen movies try to tell a story like that.
I'm trying to think.
You know,
myself.
it's like
Yeah,
where it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
someone's iterating it, or it's like it's trying to tell the beginning while being in
Yeah.
the end kind of thing.
But it's not. Yeah.
This one does it perfectly, like 100% perfect. And it does the music too, like she was saying. The music moves perfectly with this fucking movie, and that drags me in.
Sucks me in.
Yeah,
It just because it does. The fast pace of the scenes shifting and everything obviously already does that. It already gives you that like
imagine
while you're
cooling
watching
off. Imagine cooling off. That's not the idea, right?
Right,
So
right,
it's like you stop at a portion and you get a chance to like.
You don't
and
want to
come
you don't want to
back
come
in.
down from it and then
Kinda right.
restart
You're like,
that.
what? Wait,
right.
hold on. What the fuck is going on?
You're right. You want the anxiety building until you're like, what's going on?
And I think
then,
it's done on purpose. And I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
him and his fucking attention to
Absolutely.
detail, the minute attention
Fine.
to detail.
He's telling you what to feel every moment
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that
yeah.
movie.
It's
And I-
good.
and I felt it.
We're his puppets.
Right.
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 I like it. Next week, it's Wally's pick, and I'm gonna let you think on it before I say thanks for coming on
All right, go
this
ahead.
episode. Really appreciate you coming out. Want to say from the Baynet again, I guess. If you want to say you're from the Baynet, you can.
I do work for the Baynet.
Right. Movie reviews on the Baynet.
I do movie reviews. I also do concerts. Politics.
Concerts too, politics. So you're all.
I kind of do community. I do harder stuff like I mentioned the trafficking,
Sure.
crime, investigatory.
Okay,
type
I like
things.
that.
So I'm kind of a jack of all trades, but I specialize in entertainment.
I like
and
that,
culture,
though.
I'd say.
Cool. Well, again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. This has been a blast.
Yeah, no problem. We always
It's fun,
try.
it's fun.
We try to have
Yeah.
a good time here, and sometimes the drinks come out and we get even more rowdy. We're already too long in the Oppenheimer. Next week it's Wally's pick.
Dude, if we're doing like
Whatever-
game-changing
whatever you want, whatever
movies,
you want.
right?
Yeah, Blade.
No.
Okay.
I want to do Whiplash. We should do
Oh,
Whiplash.
All right.
Okay.
There's maybe maybe a 10 movies that fit in that 9 to 10 category, and I think this is one of those ones. It has one of the best scenes of all
I
time.
mean,
Of all time.
not my tempo.
It's a music. It's a music movie.
I'll watch them all.
Yeah,
So
so-
Have
you
you
put them on my
seen
TV, I'm gonna sit
Yeah,
down
yeah.
and watch
Whiplash?
it.
You have not seen
I've been
Whiplash.
saving it.
Oh yeah.
You know what? You know when you see one of, and you just
He's
know
not
that it's
even
gonna.
the best actor in this movie.
You
by
know,
the way.
you know when a movie is gonna do something too.
Yeah,
You know what I
uh-huh.
mean?
Good
It's
luck.
one of those ones where I kind of like.
This is another one.
Putting away the chocolate for later.
Yeah,
And the
but
reason-
now I feel like it's been too long. Like I let it go too long, and now I'm like, oh shit! Like now I have to find like now I have a reason.
I
I
think
got
the
a
reason that I chose this is because we were talking about music and how it moves. This and you know it just dumps. It just leaves you with your thoughts. This movie does it perfectly.
I'm excited.
It's like the most, and it's a music movie. So when it goes silent, you're like, "What the fuck is going on right now?"
Oh,
Give you
no.
a chance, watch that shit. It's so good.
It's
Well, it's not get a chance. I have to now.
Yeah, do your job.
it's an experience.
It's an assignment now.
It's an assignment.
Yeah,
We're gonna write that
Whiplash.
in the homework notes. It's fine. So yeah, next week Whiplash is gonna be good. Thanks for anybody who's still listening or watching. You can find us at The Decision Reel on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We're on there, and YouTube if you want to watch us and see our pretty faces. Next week, like I said, Whiplash
And
is
my
gonna
sign
be fun.
language. I can do sign language.
You
I
can
was
do
trying to
sign
say
language
that earlier.
underneath the.
Only underneath bathroom
Yeah,
stalls.
yeah, yeah.
Right,
So
right.
you know who it is if you're
It's Wally.
in
It's the only
public
guy
and
doing
it's
it.
me.
Yeah,
Just say hi.
in
In
sign language.
language.
Right. Is there a specific sign?
Is there a
for-
code?
W.
Yeah.
What is it? A. How do you do A?
I think this is a.
Yeah, I know a little bit. Well, thank you.
You know what this is?
Thank you.
Yeah.
My mic's in front of my face. So
Okay, I didn't
wanna
know if you
smack
did. Yeah,
the mic
okay,
into
okay.
my face.
Okay, well,
For a
guess
second,
what?
I couldn't
I
tell
went
if
like
you did
this.
this or if you did this.
No,
so,
yeah, fuck you,
know,
dude.
Yeah.
Both
Anyways.
at the same time. Anyways, again, yeah, thanks everybody. See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.